Life is a mirror, reflecting back the reality of our innermost beliefs and convictions. Trust, therefore, is not merely about another person. It is a reflection of how you honor your intuition and guard your spirit. There are those in life who, though cloaked in charm or fine sincerity, carry intentions that could disrupt the harmony of your path. Today, let us uncover 3 types of individuals you should never place your trust in. Trust is a profound reflection of the inner self, a mirror revealing not only the nature of others, but more importantly, the essence of our own beliefs, fears, and expectations. The relationships we nurture, the people we draw into our lives, and the dynamics we experience are not random. They are shaped by the state of our inner world, acting as echoes of our thoughts, emotions, and spiritual alignment. To understand trust, we must first understand ourselves, for the outer world is but a projection of our inner consciousness. Self-trust also requires accountability. We must take ownership of our role in the dynamics we experience. It is easy to blame others for broken trust, but this mindset keeps us in a cycle of victimhood. Instead, ask yourself, what part of my inner world contributed to this situation? Perhaps you ignored your intuition when it warned you of red flags. Perhaps you placed unrealistic expectations on another person, expecting them to fulfill needs that only you can meet. By acknowledging these patterns, you empower yourself to make different choices in the future. Once you cultivate trust within, your external relationships begin to shift. You no longer seek validation from others, for you are rooted in the assurance of your own worth. This self-assuredness acts as a filter, naturally weeding out those who do not resonate with your energy. You will find it easier to discern between those who are authentic and those who are not, for your inner clarity allows you to perceive the truth beyond surface appearances. Trusting others becomes less about their actions and more about your alignment with your intuition. Ultimately, trust is not a static state but a dynamic process, one that evolves as you evolve. The more you nurture your inner self, the more you will attract relationships that honor and reflect your growth. Trusting others becomes an act of courage and faith, rooted in the knowledge that your inner world is your greatest guide. When you live from this place of inner alignment, trust ceases to be a fragile gamble and transforms into a powerful expression of self-assurance. At its core, discernment is a spiritual skill, rooted in self-awareness and intuition. It begins with the acknowledgement that not everything is as it seems. People, situations, and opportunities often present themselves in ways designed to appeal to our desires, fears, or biases. Without discernment, we risk being swept away by these illusions, making choices that may feel right in the moment but ultimately lead to regret or stagnation. Discernment, however, enables us to pause, reflect, and look beyond the obvious to uncover the underlying reality. To exercise discernment effectively, one must also develop emotional maturity. Our emotions, while vital to the human experience, can cloud our judgment when left unchecked. Fear, anger, or excitement can lead us to perceive things in distorted ways, making it difficult to see situations clearly. By learning to observe our emotions without being controlled by them, we create room for discernment to operate. This does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather understanding their role and allowing them to inform rather than dictate our decisions. Discernment is particularly crucial when it comes to relationship. The people we allow into our lives have a profound impact on our energy, mindset, and overall well-being. Without discernment, we may find ourselves entangled with individuals who drain our spirit, manipulate our emotions, or divert us from our path. These relationships often come disguised as friendships, partnerships, or even love, but their true nature reveals itself over time. Discernment helps us identify these patterns early, enabling us to set boundaries or walk away when necessary. In relationships, discernment teaches us to pay attention to consistency over words. Promises and declarations can be easily made, but it is through actions and patterns of behavior that true intentions are revealed. A discerning heart observes these patterns without judgment or attachment. Seeking alignment rather than perfection, it recognizes that not every connection is meant to last, and that walking away from misaligned relationships is an act of self-respect, not failure. Beyond relationships, discernment plays a vital role in the opportunities we encounter. Life is abundant with possibilities, but not all opportunities are meant for us. Some may seem promising, but ultimately distract from our purpose. Others may require patience and perseverance to reveal their true value. Discernment helps us recognize which doors to walk through and which to let remain closed. It allows us to trust in divine timing, understanding that what is truly meant for us will not pass us by. Cultivating discernment also involves learning from past experiences. Every misstep or mistake offers a lesson in clarity if we are willing to reflect on it. When we approach our past with curiosity rather than judgment, we gain valuable insights into the patterns and choices that have shaped our journey. These lessons become the foundation upon which discernment is built, allowing us to navigate future challenges with greater wisdom and confidence. An essential aspect of discernment is the ability to trust oneself. Discernment is not about perfection. In a world filled with competing voices and the right choice, self-trust is about approaching life with an open mind and a discerning heart, willing to explore, is not blind faith, and adapt, but a deep knowing. It is a practice that deepens over time, shaped by a willingness to learn and grow. The more we cultivate silencing the noise, the more we align with the validation of who we are, and tuning into a life that reflects our highest aspirations. When we trust ourselves, discernment flows naturally. We give ourselves, guiding us toward choices for navigating the uncertainties of life with grace and confidence. Deceivers are among the most insidious challenges we encounter in life. And their presence often disrupts trust, when we embrace it fully and personal growth. We unlock the power to create wear masks of charm, sincerity, harmony, or fulfillment, concealing intentions that can harm those who fall under their influence. To navigate life effectively, one must recognize the danger of deceivers, not with fear or paranoia, but wisdom and discernment. Their actions, though often covert, leave trails of inconsistency and imbalance, and learning to identify these patterns protects not only your external circumstances, but also your inner peace. A deceiver thrives in the shadows of manipulation, thriving on the ability to distort reality. They often present themselves as the most challenging aspects of dealing with deceivers with what you want their ability to exploit human vulnerability. Their strength lies in their ability to human desire for connection, validation, while quietly orchestrating actions that serve their self-interest. These individuals may not always intend to cause harm directly, sympathizing with your lack of alignment, fabricated stories of their own hardships to gain the lives of those around them. Once this bond trust is extended to such a person, it relationships and fulfill their goal. Disappointment, often at your expense. In some cases, this manipulation can be subtle, leaving you questioning your judgment or even doubting your perception of reality. The impact of deception extends beyond the immediate harm caused by the deceiver's actions. It can erode your sense of self-trust, making it difficult to navigate future relationships or opportunities. When deceived, the mind often revisits the situation repeatedly, searching for red flags that were overlooked. This process, while necessary for growth, can also lead to feelings of guilt or shame. You may wonder how you missed the signs or why you allowed the deceiver into your life. These questions, though painful, are essential to rebuilding your inner clarity and fortifying your ability to discern truth in the future. It is important to recognize that the danger of deceivers does not lie solely in their actions, but in the power we give them. Often, we ignore intuitive warnings or rationalize behaviors that feel off because we want to believe in the goodness of others. This is not a flaw, but a reflection of the human inclination toward trust and optimism. However, failing to acknowledge these internal signals can leave us vulnerable to further harm. The key is not to abandon trust altogether, but to refine it, ensuring it is placed in alignment with both logic and intuition. To protect yourself from deceivers, It is vital to cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in someone's presence. Deceivers often leave subtle signs, inconsistencies in their stories, exaggerated claims, or an inability to follow through on promises. While their words may be convincing, their actions often betray their true nature. Observing these patterns without immediately reacting allows you to gather the evidence needed to make informed decisions about whom to trust. Boundaries are another essential tool in safeguarding yourself from deceivers. A person who respects your boundaries demonstrates an understanding of mutual respect and transparency, while a deceiver may push against them or seek to undermine them subtly. Establishing clear boundaries communicates that you value your energy and time, making it more difficult for manipulative individuals to gain control over your life. It is also important to surround yourself with people who value integrity and truth. The company you keep significantly influences your ability to identify and handle deceivers. Honest, transparent relationships create a foundation of trust that makes it easier to recognize when someone's energy feels out of alignment. These connections act as a support system, offering perspective and guidance when you encounter situations that feel unclear. While encountering deceivers can be painful, these experiences also offer valuable lessons. They teach us the importance of listening to our intuition, setting boundaries, and maintaining a commitment to truth. Each instance of deception, when viewed through the lens of growth, becomes an opportunity to strengthen our discernment and resilience. Rather than allowing the actions of deceivers to diminish our trust in humanity, we can use these moments to refine our ability to trust ourselves. The danger of deceivers lies in their potential to derail us from our path. Yet, with awareness and wisdom, their influence can be minimized. By cultivating clarity within ourselves and fostering relationships rooted in authenticity, we create a life that reflects our highest truth. Deceivers, no matter how skilled, cannot disrupt a foundation built on self-trust and discernment. They may appear as obstacles, but in facing and overcoming their presence, we discover the strength to live in alignment with our deepest values. The double-minded individual is one of the most perplexing and challenging types of people to encounter. Their nature is marked by inconsistency, indecision, and a lack of integrity, often leading to confusion and instability for those who interact with them. These individuals live in a state of internal conflict, torn between two opposing desires, values, or paths. Their words may promise one thing, while their actions reveal another. Their alliances shift with circumstances, making it nearly impossible to rely on them. To beware the double-minded is not merely a cautionary tale about others, but a reminder to examine our own inner coherence and commitment to truth. Double-mindedness often manifests as a lack of commitment to a single course of action. These individuals are frequently swayed by external forces, their decisions driven by fear, convenience, or the approval of others, rather than by a deep-seated sense of purpose. As a result, their actions lack integrity, and they become unreliable, not because they intend harm, but because they lack the inner alignment needed to stand firm in their choices. They promise loyalty but fail to deliver, offer assurances they cannot fulfill, and vacillate when circumstances demand clarity and decisiveness. One of the greatest challenges posed by double-minded people is the emotional toll they can take on those around them. Their inconsistency creates an atmosphere of uncertainty, where trust becomes tenuous and expectations are constantly undermined. In relationships, they may seem committed one moment and distant the next, leaving their partners feeling confused and unmoored. In professional settings, they may agree to tasks or decisions only to reverse course later, creating frustration and inefficiency for their colleagues. Their inability to anchor themselves in a single direction ripples outward, affecting everyone they encounter. The root of double-mindedness often lies in a deeper internal struggle. These individuals are often caught between fear and desire, between the life they aspire to live and the insecurities that hold them back. They may lack the courage to make definitive choices, fearing the consequences of commitment or the discomfort of leaving behind other possibilities. This internal division is mirrored in their external behavior, as they oscillate between conflicting goals or priorities. Understanding this internal conflict can help us approach double-minded individuals with compassion, even as we remain vigilant to the impact of their behavior. For those who seek to build lives of stability and purpose, recognizing double-mindedness in others and within ourselves is essential. Interacting with double-minded individuals requires discernment and clear boundaries. While it is tempting to try to help or fix them, it is crucial to remember that their internal conflict is theirs to resolve. We cannot force someone to choose alignment or integrity. That is a personal journey each individual must undertake. However, we can protect ourselves by setting firm boundaries and refusing to be drawn into their cycles of indecision and inconsistency. The greatest danger of engaging with double-minded individuals is the risk of being drawn into their instability. Their shifting loyalties or priorities can create confusion, leading us to question our own decisions or values. To counteract this, we must cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and clarity about our own goals and principles. When we are anchored in our truth, the wavering nature of others has less power to destabilize us. This requires a commitment to regular introspection and a willingness to confront any areas where we too may be harboring double-minded tendencies. Indeed, the phenomenon of double-mindedness is not confined to others. It exists within all of us to some degree. Moments of indecision, conflicting desires, or hesitation are part of the human experience. However, the key to overcoming double-mindedness is recognizing these tendencies within ourselves and addressing them with honesty and courage. This process begins with aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with a clear sense of purpose. When we live in coherence, our decisions flow naturally from our values, and our lives become a reflection of our deepest truths. To move beyond double-mindedness, both in ourselves and in how we relate to others, we must cultivate the discipline of commitment. This involves making deliberate choices and standing by them, even when faced with challenges or temptations. It means trusting in our ability to navigate the consequences of our decisions and embracing the growth that comes from taking responsibility for our actions. When we embody this clarity and integrity, we inspire others to do the same. To beware the double-minded is to honor the value of consistency and alignment in all areas of life. It is a call to surround ourselves with people who reflect these qualities and to embody them in our own actions. By doing so, we create relationships, environments, and experiences that are rooted in trust and authenticity. The double-minded may continue to exist, but their influence diminishes in the presence of those who have chosen the path of clarity, integrity, and unwavering commitment to truth. Manipulators are a subtle yet potent force in our lives, weaving webs of influence that often go unnoticed until the damage has been done. They operate with a keen understanding of human nature, exploiting vulnerabilities and bending situations to serve their interests. The essence of manipulation lies in control, not the overt control of physical force, but the covert control of emotions, perceptions, and decisions. These individuals can distort reality, create illusions of trust, and wield power in ways that undermine autonomy and peace. To recognize and guard against manipulators is essential for preserving personal integrity and freedom. Manipulators often present themselves as allies, cloaking their intentions in the guise of helpfulness, concern, or charm. They are adept at reading people, identifying what drives them, and tailoring their approach to tap into these motivations. Whether it's offering unsolicited advice, playing the role of a confidant, or presenting themselves as indispensable, manipulators position themselves as people you can rely on. This makes it easy to overlook their ulterior motives, as they skillfully mask their actions under layers of apparent goodwill. One of the hallmarks of manipulation is the creation of imbalance. Manipulators thrive on making others feel indebted to them. They may do favors that seem altruistic but come with unspoken expectations. Over time, this creates a dynamic where the recipient feels compelled to reciprocate, often in ways that go beyond fairness or comfort. This imbalance is not always material. It can also manifest emotionally, with manipulators cultivating feelings of guilt or obligation to maintain their hold. Emotional manipulation is particularly insidious as it operates on the unseen terrain of the heart and mind. Manipulators may use tactics like gaslighting, where they distort facts or deny events to make their victims question their perception of reality. They may feign vulnerability, using their supposed hardships to elicit sympathy and gain leverage. Alternatively, they may subtly criticize or demean, eroding self-esteem to make others more pliable. These techniques are designed to destabilize, creating a sense of dependency that allows manipulators to assert their influence. Another common strategy is the use of flattery and validation. Manipulators know how to make others feel special, praising their abilities or qualities in ways that disarm skepticism. While genuine compliments are natural in healthy relationships, the manipulator's praise is calculated, serving as a tool to lower defenses and establish rapport. Once trust is gained, they leverage it to achieve their goals, often at the expense of the very person they've charmed. The danger of manipulators lies not only in their actions but also in their ability to make you complicit in your own manipulation. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, or desire, subtly guiding your choices while making you believe the decisions are entirely your own. This erosion of autonomy can leave you feeling powerless, questioning your judgment, and struggling to reclaim control over your life. The emotional toll can be significant, leading to feelings of confusion, frustration, and even betrayal when their true nature is revealed. Recognizing manipulators requires vigilance and self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone. If you consistently feel drained, obligated, or unsure of yourself, these may be signs of manipulation. Observe patterns in their behavior. Do they seem overly agreeable or helpful, only to later ask for something in return? Do they frequently shift the narrative to make themselves appear as victims or heroes? These are red flags that merit closer examination. Setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from manipulators. Clearly defining what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior communicates that you value your autonomy and are unwilling to compromise it. Manipulators often test boundaries, so it's crucial to enforce them consistently and without apology. This might mean saying no to requests, limiting your engagement with them, or addressing manipulative behavior directly. While this can be uncomfortable, it is a necessary step in reclaiming control over your interactions. It is also important to cultivate relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. Surround yourself with people who value your well-being as much as their own, who encourage your independence rather than seeking to control it. These connections act as a safeguard, providing a counterbalance to the influence of manipulators and reinforcing your ability to trust and assert yourself. Manipulators are a part of the human experience, but their power is not insurmountable. By developing awareness, setting boundaries, and fostering genuine relationships, you can minimize their impact on your life. Moreover, each encounter with a manipulator offers an opportunity for growth, teaching you to trust your instincts, value your autonomy, and stand firm in your truth. Though their actions may be unsettling, manipulators ultimately serve as reminders of the importance of clarity, integrity, and self-respect in navigating the complexities of human interaction. The greatest defense against manipulation is a strong sense of self. When you know your values, trust your intuition, and remain steadfast in your boundaries, you become impervious to the subtle machinations of those who seek to control. Manipulators may attempt to sway you, but their efforts will falter in the face of your unwavering commitment to live authentically and independently. In a world saturated with words, promises, reassurances, opinions, and advice, it is easy to lose sight of a fundamental truth. Intuition often speaks more clearly and truthfully than the most eloquent speech. Words can be manipulated, shaped to serve purposes beyond their surface meanings, but intuition, that quiet voice within, is rooted in a deeper understanding. It bypasses the rational mind, tapping into an unseen reservoir of wisdom that senses the essence of situations and people. Trusting your intuition over words is not just a skill but a safeguard for navigating life with clarity, confidence, and authenticity. Words have power. They can uplift, inspire, and motivate. Yet they can also deceive, mislead, and mask hidden intentions. A skilled speaker can weave narratives that seem impeccable on the surface while subtly serving their own agendas. Politicians, marketers, and even those close to us may use words to sway us in directions we might not otherwise choose. In such moments, relying solely on words can lead us astray, away from our true desires and well-being. This is where intuition becomes indispensable, a quiet guide that operates beyond the reach of verbal persuasion. Intuition often speaks through subtle cues, gut feelings, a sense of unease, or an inexplicable pull toward or away from something. It is not loud or demanding but persistent, waiting for us to pay attention. Unlike words, which can be carefully constructed to appeal to logic or emotion, intuition emerges from a deeper awareness that processes information beyond our conscious understanding. It connects patterns, discerns energy, and detects incongruences that might escape the rational mind. Consider a moment when someone's words didn't match their energy. Perhaps they assured you of their loyalty, but something about their tone, body language, or even the timing of their statement made you feel otherwise. That discomfort was your intuition alerting you to a misalignment between what was being said and the truth. Similarly, there are moments when intuition draws you toward opportunities or people, even when logic cannot immediately explain why. These instances highlight the profound wisdom of intuition, which perceives truth's words may obscure. Trusting intuition over words requires a willingness to slow down and listen. Modern life often pulls us outward, demanding constant engagement with external stimuli, social media, conversations, responsibilities. Amid this noise, the quiet voice of intuition can be drowned out. Cultivating a relationship with your intuition means creating space for reflection and connection with your inner self. Practices such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature can help you attune to this inner wisdom. The more you listen to it, the more clearly it will guide you. Fear and doubt are common obstacles to trusting intuition. The rational mind, accustomed to relying on evidence and logic, may resist the seemingly abstract nature of intuitive insights. Fear of being wrong, of taking risks, or of going against the grain can also suppress intuitive guidance. However, intuition is not about certainty, it is about alignment. It nudges you toward what feels true, even if the path ahead is unclear. Overcoming these fears requires trust in your inner voice and a willingness to act on its guidance, even when it defies conventional reasoning. To prioritize intuition over words, it is essential to observe and question the motivations behind what is being said. Words are often colored by the speaker's desires, insecurities, or intentions. When someone's words provoke strong emotions, whether excitement, fear, or urgency, pause and ask yourself whether their message resonates with your inner truth. Notice how your body responds to their words. Intuition often communicates through physical sensations, such as a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, or a sense of calm clarity. These signals can offer valuable insights into whether to trust or question what is being said. Relationships provide fertile ground for learning to trust intuition. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, the alignment between words and actions is key. Someone's repeated assurances of care or reliability may lose meaning if their behavior consistently contradicts their promises. Intuition will often sense these discrepancies long before the mind acknowledges them. Similarly, when someone's actions align with their words, your intuition may signal trustworthiness, even if external circumstances seem uncertain. Intuition also serves as a compass for self-guidance. While external voices may offer advice or criticism, your intuition reflects your unique journey and values. It helps you distinguish between paths that align with your purpose and those that do not. When faced with decisions, especially significant ones, tuning into intuition can provide clarity that transcends the limitations of logic. It encourages you to honor your authentic desires, even when they challenge societal expectations or norms. Following intuition over words is a practice of deep self-trust. It requires you to believe in your capacity to discern truth, even when it defies conventional wisdom or external validation. It is not a rejection of words or logic, but an acknowledgement that they are only part of the equation. By listening to intuition, you reclaim your power to navigate life authentically, grounded in an inner wisdom that is uniquely yours. In this alignment with self, you find clarity, strength, and the freedom to live in harmony with your deepest truths. In conclusion, trust is a sacred cornerstone of our relationships and our journey through life. It is not something to be given lightly, for the wrong choices can lead to pain and confusion. By sharpening our discernment, recognizing the dangers of deceivers, manipulators, and the double-minded, and prioritizing intuition over words, we arm ourselves with the clarity and strength to build a life rooted in authenticity and peace. Trust begins with understanding yourself, listening to the quiet voice within, and honoring the boundaries that protect your integrity. When you align with your inner truth, you will naturally attract the people and circumstances that reflect your values and aspirations. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this journey of discernment and self-awareness. May you walk forward with confidence, trusting wisely and living fully. Imagine standing at the crossroads of your dreams and your doubts. The world around you seems to shout, "It cannot be done yet." Within you, a quiet voice whispers, "It is already yours." This is the art of believing beyond reason, of stepping into a reality that is unseen but undeniably real. Imagination is the seed of reality. This simple yet profound truth holds the key to understanding how life unfolds. Every great invention, every monumental breakthrough, every life-changing decision originates as a spark of imagination. It is through this faculty that we create, transform, and bring into existence that which was once invisible. Imagination is not just a fleeting daydream, it is the womb of reality, the sacred space where desires take root and begin their journey into the tangible world. When we consider the concept of imagination, it is tempting to dismiss it as mere fantasy, a harmless indulgence that has no bearing on the real world, yet history tells a different story. Every skyscraper that pierces the sky, every symphony that stirs the soul, every cure that saves a life was once an idea in someone's mind. The world we experience today is a tapestry woven from the threads of countless imaginations. Nothing exists in the physical realm that did not first exist as a vision, a thought, or a feeling within the mind of its creator. This truth applies not only to great inventors, artists, and thinkers, but to every individual. Each of us is endowed with this creative faculty, a gift that allows us to shape our lives in extraordinary ways. However, the challenge lies in understanding the power of imagination and learning to wield it consciously. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to be dominated by fear, doubt, and negative expectations. They envision worst-case scenarios, dwell on failures, and rehearse the very outcomes they wish to avoid. This misuse of imagination sows seeds of despair and frustration, yielding a harvest of unwanted circumstances. To harness the true potential of imagination, we must first recognize it as the seed of reality. Just as a seed contains the blueprint for a towering oak or a vibrant rose, so too does imagination carry the blueprint for the life we wish to live. But a seed does not grow without care. It must be planted in fertile soil, nurtured with water and sunlight, and protected from weeds that threaten to choke its growth. Similarly, our imaginative visions must be cultivated with belief, nourished with feelings of certainty, and shielded from the doubts and distractions that seek to undermine them. The process begins with clarity. To plant a seed, we must know what we wish to grow. Vague or scattered desires yield little. It is the focused, specific vision that takes root most effectively. What do you truly desire? What life do you wish to create? Be bold in your imagining, for there are no limits to what you can conceive. The mind does not differentiate between what is realistic and what is unrealistic. It simply responds to the images and feelings you feed it, working tirelessly to bring them to fruition. Once the seed is planted, the next step is to nurture it with feeling. Imagination without emotion is like a seed without water. It remains dormant, inert. To activate the creative power of your imagination, you must feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is an intentional act of aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When you vividly imagine and deeply feel the reality of your desire, you are sending out a signal that the universe cannot ignore. The journey from seed to reality is not always instantaneous. Patience and persistence are essential. Just as a farmer does not dig up a seed every day to check its progress, neither should we doubt the process of creation. Trust in the unseen forces at work. Trust that the seed of your imagination is growing, even when there is no visible evidence. The most magnificent transformations often occur beneath the surface, in silence and stillness. Imagination also requires protection. The world is full of distractions, naysayers and circumstances that may tempt you to abandon your vision. These are the weeds that threaten to stifle your imagination. Guard your mind against negativity. Surround yourself with people, environments, and influences that uplift and inspire you. Remind yourself daily of your vision, reaffirming your commitment to it. The more you nurture and protect your imagination, the more powerfully it will manifest. It is important to note that imagination is not limited by the boundaries of logic or reason. It transcends the constraints of the physical world, allowing you to explore possibilities that may seem impossible. This is its greatest gift. Logic is bound by what is imagination is free to envision what can be. When you dare to imagine beyond the evidence of your senses, you are planting seeds for miracles. In this process, imagination becomes not just a tool, but a way of life. It shifts your perspective, enabling you to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. It fills you with a sense of possibility, a quiet assurance that you hold the power to create your destiny. The more you practice using your imagination consciously, the more natural it becomes, and the more effortlessly your desires flow into your experience. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, the present and the future. It is the divine faculty through which we co-create with the universe, transforming thought into matter, desire into reality. To embrace this truth is to reclaim your creative power. Your imagination is a garden waiting to be cultivated, a field brimming with infinite potential. Plant your seeds wisely, tend them with care, and watch as they blossom into the life of your dreams. The world you see around you is not separate from you, it is a mirror reflecting the state of your inner world. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, and every feeling you nurture casts its shadow upon the external reality you call life. This connection between the inner and outer worlds is absolute, unwavering, and inescapable. It is not fate or chance that governs your experiences, but the invisible currents of your mind. To understand this is to hold the key to transforming your life from the inside out. Most people live as though the external world dictates their reality. They react to circumstances, blame conditions, and believe themselves powerless to influence their lives. Yet, this is a profound misunderstanding of how life works. The outer world is merely the effect, the cause lies within. Change the cause, and the effect must follow. This is not wishful thinking or philosophical abstraction, it is a fundamental law of existence. Consider the mind as the projector and the world as the screen. What you project onto the screen of life is determined by the film running in the projector, that is, the images and beliefs in your consciousness. If you desire to see a different picture on the screen, you must change the film. It is futile to manipulate the screen itself, for it only reflects what is being projected. Similarly, it is futile to attempt to change your life by focusing solely on external conditions. True change begins within. Your inner world comprises your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, and these elements work together to create your experiences. Thoughts are the building blocks, forming the structure of your reality. A persistent thought, repeated with conviction, becomes a belief. Beliefs, in turn, act as filters, coloring your perception of the world and influencing your actions. Emotions infuse these thoughts and beliefs with energy, turning them into powerful magnets that draw corresponding experiences into your life. When your inner world is harmonious, your outer world reflects that harmony. You attract relationships, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your sense of peace and purpose. Conversely, when your inner world is chaotic, dominated by fear, doubt, and negativity, your outer world mirrors that chaos. The principle is simple: what you nurture within, you will encounter without. To transform your life, you must first become a master gardener of your inner world. This begins with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts you think habitually, the beliefs you hold as truth, and the emotions you entertain. Are they aligned with the life you desire, or do they contradict it? Often people discover that their inner dialogue is dominated by self-doubt, criticism, and limitation. These mental habits are like weeds, choking the growth of your dreams. The next step is to consciously choose your thoughts and beliefs. This is not a matter of pretending or suppressing negativity, but of replacing it with a more empowering narrative. When a limiting thought arises, challenge it. Replace it with a thought that aligns with your desired reality. Over time, this practice reshapes your belief system, creating a fertile ground for your dreams to grow. Emotions play a crucial role in this process. They are the fuel that powers your creative engine. When you feel joy, gratitude, and love, you emit a vibration that attracts corresponding experiences. Conversely, emotions like fear, anger, and despair lower your vibration, drawing experiences that match those feelings. To shift your emotional state, focus on what brings you joy. Engage in activities that uplift your spirit, and practice gratitude for the blessings you already have. Gratitude is particularly potent, for it aligns you with abundance and opens the door to greater blessings. Visualization is another powerful tool for shaping your inner world. Close your eyes and imagine the life you wish to create. See it clearly in vivid detail, as though it is already yours. Feel the emotions of fulfillment, success, and happiness. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it influences your inner state. Visualization is not about escaping reality, but about creating it. By holding a clear and consistent vision in your mind, you set the stage for its manifestation. The outer world will inevitably reflect your inner changes, but the process requires patience and persistence. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your inner transformation may not yield immediate results. Trust in the process. Do not be swayed by temporary appearances, for they are merely echoes of your past state of mind. Hold steadfastly to your vision, and the outer world will catch up. This principle applies to every area of life: relationships, career, health, and personal growth. If you seek love, cultivate love within yourself. If you desire abundance, adopt a mindset of abundance. If you wish for peace, create peace in your thoughts and emotions. The outer world cannot give you what you are unwilling to give yourself. Your inner world is your sanctuary, your workshop, your sacred space. Guard it with vigilance, nurture it with care, and use it wisely. When you take full responsibility for your inner state, you reclaim your power to shape your life. No longer a victim of circumstance, you become the creator of your destiny. The world you see is not separate from you, it is you. Change within, and the world will change with you. Faith is the invisible thread that connects your inner vision to the outer world. It is the bridge between the unseen realm of imagination and the tangible reality you seek to create. Without faith, imagination remains a seed that is never nurtured, a dream that never ventures beyond the confines of the mind. Faith gives imagination its wings, transforming it from a fleeting thought into a lived experience. Faith is not mere hope or blind optimism. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that what you imagine is not only possible but inevitable. It is the quiet assurance that the unseen is as real as the seen, and the unmanifested is already on its way to becoming. Faith does not rely on evidence or external validation. It moves in spite of appearances, choosing to believe in the reality of the vision even when all reason denies it. This is why faith is so powerful. It operates beyond the limitations of the senses and logic. The senses tell you what is, faith tells you what can be. Logic confines you to the realm of what seems achievable. Faith expands your vision to encompass the miraculous. When you possess true faith, You no longer question whether your desire will come to pass. You live as though it already has, and in doing so, you align yourself with its reality. Faith is the active principle that energizes your imagination. When you imagine a desired outcome, faith breathes life into that image, infusing it with the substance needed to take form. Without faith, imagination is like a flame without fuel. It may flicker for a moment, but will soon die out. With faith, that flame becomes a roaring fire, consuming doubt and lighting the path to your dreams. The power of faith lies in its ability to hold steady, even in the face of challenges. Life often tests your faith with delays, setbacks, and appearances that contradict your vision. These are not signs that your faith is misplaced, they are opportunities to deepen it. True faith remains unshaken by temporary circumstances, knowing that these are but fleeting shadows compared to the enduring reality of the vision. Faith also demands action. To truly believe in your vision is to act as though it is already realized. This does not mean forcing or striving, but aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the reality you are creating. If you believe in abundance, let your actions reflect generosity and confidence. If you believe in love, embody kindness and understanding. If you believe in success, approach each day with purpose and determination. Faith without action is like a seed left unplanted. It holds potential but produces no harvest. Faith requires trust, not just in the process, but in yourself. You must trust that the vision within you is divinely inspired, that your desires are not random but intentional. You must trust that the same power that placed the desire in your heart also provides the means to fulfill it. When doubt arises, remind yourself that the process of creation is not yours to control, it is yours to believe in. Your role is to imagine, feel, and act in alignment, leaving the details of manifestation to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Faith is not an emotion that comes and goes, it is a choice you make daily. Each moment offers you the opportunity to reaffirm your belief or to give in to doubt. The more you choose faith, the stronger it becomes, until it becomes a natural part of who you are. Faith is a muscle that grows with use, and with time, it becomes the foundation upon which your life is built. When faith is strong, obstacles lose their power to discourage. You no longer see delays as denials, but as part of the unfolding process. You trust that every step, no matter how small or insignificant it seems, is bringing you closer to your vision. Faith allows you to move forward with confidence, even when the path is unclear, knowing that each step will reveal the next. Faith is the bridge that allows you to walk from imagination to reality. It connects the inner and outer worlds, making the invisible visible and the impossible possible. Faith is not a passive belief, but an active force, a commitment to your vision that transcends doubt, fear, and uncertainty. When you nurture your imagination with unwavering faith, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe, and the life you desire becomes not just a possibility, but a certainty. Imagination, no matter how vivid, and faith, no matter how unwavering, require persistence to bring their fruits into reality. The process of creation is rarely instantaneous, it unfolds in its own perfect time. The persistence is the bridge that keeps you connected to your vision when the world around you offers no evidence of its arrival. It is the quiet, steadfast resolve to remain faithful to your inner reality, no matter how long it takes to materialize. The journey of manifestation often tests your patience and determination. There will be moments when progress feels slow or non-existent, when doubt whispers that your efforts are in vain. These moments are not failures but part of the natural rhythm of creation. Like seeds planted in the soil, your desires must go through an unseen phase of growth before they can bloom. It is during this phase that persistence becomes your greatest ally. Persistence is not about forcing or striving, it is about remaining aligned with your vision in thought, feeling, and action. It is about returning to your imagination each day, reinforcing your faith, and acting as though your desire is already fulfilled. It is a quiet but powerful commitment to the truth of your inner world, even when the outer world suggests otherwise. To persist is to trust the process. The universe operates on laws that are precise and unerring. Just as a farmer trusts that a seed will sprout when given time and care, You must trust that your desires will come to fruition when you remain consistent in your belief and action. Doubt and impatience disrupt this process, like digging up a seed to check if it is growing. Persistence, on the other hand, creates a steady flow of energy that supports the manifestation of your vision. Persistence requires discipline over your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. It means refusing to entertain doubt, fear, or negativity, no matter how tempting they may be. It means turning away from appearances that contradict your vision and focusing instead on the reality you are creating. This discipline is not about suppression, but about the choice to prioritize your inner truth over external distractions. One of the greatest challenges to persistence is the influence of others. Well-meaning friends, family, or society may question your vision, pointing to evidence that it is unrealistic or unattainable. They may try to impose their limitations on you, not out of malice but out of their own fear and doubt. In these moments, persistence means holding on to your vision with even greater determination. It means trusting your inner guidance above all external voices. Persistence also requires adaptability. The path to your desire may not unfold exactly as you imagined. There may be detours, delays, or unexpected challenges. These are not signs that you are off track. They are opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your vision. Persistence means staying committed to the end result while being flexible in your approach. It means trusting that the universe knows the best way to bring your desire to you, even if it looks different from what you initially envisioned. Celebrate small victories along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is evidence that your persistence is paying off. These moments of progress fuel your motivation and reinforce your belief in the process. Acknowledge them with gratitude, for they are signs that the seeds you have planted are beginning to sprout. Persistence is a quiet strength. It does not shout or demand, it simply endures. It is the force that keeps you moving forward when the journey feels long, the light that guides you when the path grows dim. Persistence does not waver in the face of setbacks or discouragement. It holds steadfast to the vision, knowing that what is seen in the mind must eventually be seen in the world. Through persistence, you demonstrate your commitment to your vision and your trust in the creative process. You show the universe that you are serious about your desires, that you are willing to remain faithful to them no matter what. This steadfast energy aligns you with the flow of creation, ensuring that your vision will manifest in perfect timing. Persistence is not a burden but a joy. It is the act of nurturing your dreams, of staying connected to your inner truth, and of watching with anticipation as your desires take shape. It is the quiet, steady force that transforms imagination and faith into reality. In the end, persistence is not just the key to manifestation, it is the essence of mastery. Through it, you prove to yourself and the world that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your destiny. To manifest your desires, you must embody the state of fulfillment, as though your dream has already come to pass. This is the ultimate act of alignment between your inner world and the reality you wish to create. The secret lies in living from your desire, not merely thinking about it or wishing for it. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you seek, you invite that reality to unfold effortlessly in your life. To embody the state of fulfillment is to feel, in this very moment, the emotions you would experience if your desire were already a fact. If you long for love, feel the warmth and joy of being loved now. If you desire success, walk with the confidence of someone who has already achieved it. If you seek peace, breathe deeply and immerse yourself in its stillness. By aligning your emotional state with the end you desire, you activate the creative power within you to bring it forth. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. When you assume the state of fulfillment, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to work tirelessly to align your outer world with this new reality. This process does not rely on force or effort, but on the natural laws of creation. Your state of being becomes a magnet, drawing to you the circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with your inner condition. This embodiment requires a shift in identity. You must see yourself not as someone who is striving for a goal, but but as someone who already possesses it, instead of asking when will it happen or how will it come to me. Declare that it is already yours. Speak, think, and act from the perspective of the person you wish to be. This shift in identity creates a powerful alignment between your current self and the version of you that lives in the reality you desire. Living in the state of fulfillment also means releasing attachment to the outcome. When you truly feel that your desire is already fulfilled, there is no need to grasp or chase after it. You do not beg for what you already have. This sense of detachment allows the manifestation process to flow naturally, free from the resistance created by anxiety or impatience. Doubt and fear may arise, tempting you to revert to old patterns of thinking and feeling. In these moments, remind yourself of the truth the reality you wish to create is already present within you. Use tools such as visualization, affirmations, and meditation to anchor yourself in the state of fulfillment. These practices help you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, reinforcing the inner conviction that your desire is already a fact. Consistency is key. To embody the state of fulfillment, you must practice it daily, moment by moment, until it becomes second nature. This does not mean suppressing your current emotions or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it means consciously choosing to return to the feeling of fulfillment whenever you find yourself drifting into doubt or fear. Over time, this practice reshapes your inner world, creating a new baseline of belief and expectation. The outer world may not immediately reflect your inner transformation, but this does not mean that nothing is happening. Manifestation often occurs in unseen ways, with changes happening behind the scenes before they become visible. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly and continue to embody the state of fulfillment with unwavering faith. Embodying the state of fulfillment is about becoming the creator of your reality rather than a passive observer. It is about stepping into your power and claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the universe. When you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the infinite possibilities of life, transforming imagination into reality and dreams into destiny. The power of assumption is one of the most transformative principles in the journey of creation and manifestation. At its core, it is the understanding that the reality you experience is a direct reflection of the assumptions you hold. An assumption is more than a fleeting thought, it is a deeply ingrained belief about yourself, others, and the world. It is the lens through which you interpret life, and it shapes your experiences with remarkable precision. What you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, sets the foundation for your reality. When you assume success, opportunities seem to arise effortlessly. When you assume failure, obstacles appear at every turn. The external world mirrors the internal state of your mind, as though it were a faithful servant responding to the commands you issue through your assumptions. This is not a matter of wishful thinking, but a profound law of creation that governs every aspect of existence. Assumption begins with imagination. The mind is the fertile ground where all assumptions are formed. What you vividly imagine and accept as true creates a blueprint for your life. If you repeatedly see yourself as confident, capable, and abundant, you assume these qualities as part of your identity. Over time, this inner conviction crystallizes into your external reality. The mind does not discriminate between what is real and what is imagined. It responds to the clarity and intensity of the image you hold. To harness the power of assumption, you must become deliberate in your thinking. Many people live as victims of their circumstances, unaware that they perpetuate their struggles through unconscious assumptions. They accept lack, limitation, and struggle as inevitable truths, reinforcing these experiences in their lives. The first step to change is awareness, recognizing the assumptions that dominate your thoughts and understanding how they influence your reality. Once you identify limiting assumptions, you can replace them with empowering ones. This process requires intention and discipline. Begin by choosing a specific desire or goal and crafting an assumption that aligns with its fulfillment. For instance, if you seek love, assume that you are deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, assume that opportunities flow to you effortlessly. This assumption must be felt as true, not merely thought about. The power lies in embodying the feeling of the fulfilled desire, as though it were already a fact. The feeling is the secret to making an assumption effective. The mind is not moved by empty words or superficial affirmations, it responds to the emotional conviction behind them. When you assume your desire is already yours, you generate a sense of certainty and gratitude. This emotional alignment sends a powerful signal to the subconscious mind, which begins to reorganize your reality to match the assumption. It draws the people, events, and circumstances necessary for your desire to manifest. This principle is most effective when applied persistently. Assumptions, like seeds, require time to grow. You may not see immediate evidence of change, but this does not mean the process is not working. It is during these moments of apparent stagnation that faith is crucial. Trust that the new assumption is taking root, even if the outer world seems unchanged. Continue to dwell in the feeling of the fulfilled desire, knowing that it is only a matter of time before it becomes visible. Doubt and resistance are natural challenges in this process. The mind may revert to old patterns of thinking, questioning the validity of the new assumption. These moments are opportunities for growth. Instead of giving in to doubt, reaffirm your assumption with even greater conviction. Use tools such as visualization, affirmations, and meditation to anchor yourself in the state of your fulfilled desire. Over time, this practice rewires your subconscious mind, making the new assumption a natural part of your belief system. The beauty of the power of assumption is its simplicity. You do not need to rely on external forces, elaborate rituals, or arduous effort to change your reality. All you need is the ability to assume and feel the reality you desire. This principle is available to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. It is not bound by logic or limitations. It operates in the realm of infinite possibility. Assumption also requires a willingness to let go of the how. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, you release the need to control the details of its manifestation. This surrender allows the universe to work on your behalf, orchestrating events in ways you could not have imagined. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly, even if it does not follow the timeline or method you expected. The more you release attachment to the outcome, the more effortlessly your assumption will materialize. The power of assumption is about reclaiming your creative authority. It is a reminder that you are not a passive participant in life, but an active creator. Your assumptions shape your experiences, and by choosing them consciously, you can transform every aspect of your reality. The world responds not to what you want, but to what you assume to be true. By assuming the best, you open the door to a life of infinite possibilities, where your desires are not distant dreams, but living realities. Doubt is the silent saboteur of creation. It undermines the foundation of belief and disrupts the flow of manifestation. When you hold a vision, an idea, or a desire, it requires unwavering conviction to bring it into reality. Doubt, however, acts as a counterforce, pulling you away from the state of certainty required for creation to thrive. It whispers questions of what if and how, shaking the confidence necessary to manifest your goals. To understand doubt's impact is to recognize why it must be consciously replaced with trust and faith. Doubt arises from fear and a reliance on external evidence. When you cannot see immediate results, the mind begins to question whether your efforts are worthwhile. It clings to the logic of the material world, asking for proof before it will believe. But the process of creation does not operate on evidence, it operates on conviction. It demands that you first believe, even in the absence of tangible signs, and allow the evidence to follow. Doubt interrupts this sequence, placing the demand for validation ahead of belief and halting the flow of manifestation. Every thought and feeling you entertain carries a vibrational frequency, shaping your reality. When you dwell in faith, you emit a signal of confidence and alignment, drawing experiences that resonate with your desires. Doubt, however, introduces discord into this frequency. It creates a state of internal conflict, where your desire and disbelief battle for dominance. This conflict weakens your focus and scatters your creative energy, delaying or even preventing the manifestation of your goal. Doubt often disguises itself as practicality or caution. It convinces you to play small, to hedge your bets, and to prepare for disappointment. While prudence has its place in certain aspects of life, doubt in the realm of creation is always counterproductive. It anchors you to the status quo, making it impossible to rise above current circumstances. True creation requires a leap of faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen, and to hold steadfast to your vision despite appearances. To overcome doubt, you must first understand its source. It stems from a belief in separation, the idea that you and your desire are apart, that the forces necessary for its fulfillment lie beyond your control. This illusion creates anxiety and uncertainty, causing you to question your power as a creator. The antidote to doubt is the realization that creation is an inside-out process. You are not waiting for the external world to grant you permission to succeed. The power lies within you to assume and embody your desired state, allowing the outer world to follow suit. The process of overcoming doubt begins with awareness. Acknowledge its presence without judgment, understanding that it is a natural part of the human experience. Resistance to doubt only amplifies its power. Acceptance, on the other hand, creates space for transformation. Once you recognize doubt for what it is, a temporary state of mind, you can consciously choose to replace it with faith. Faith is not blind optimism or the denial of challenges. It is the inner knowing that your vision is already accomplished. It is the calm assurance that the creative process is always at work, even when the results are not yet visible. Faith does not require proof or external validation. It thrives in the unseen, trusting that the desired outcome is on its way. By cultivating faith, you neutralize the energy of doubt and restore alignment with your creative power. Visualization is a powerful tool for overcoming doubt. When you vividly imagine your desire as already fulfilled, you immerse yourself in the feeling of accomplishment. This emotional resonance strengthens your belief and diminishes the influence of doubt. Repetition is key. Return to your vision daily, allowing it to become more real in your mind than any contradictory external circumstance. Affirmations also serve as an effective counter to doubt. By repeating statements that reinforce your belief in your vision, you reprogram your subconscious mind to align with your desired outcome. These affirmations must be spoken with conviction and feeling, as their power lies in the emotional charge they carry. For example, instead of saying, "I hope I achieve this," declare, "I am already living my desired reality." Another critical practice is detachment from the outcome. When you cling too tightly to your desire, you create resistance born of fear and impatience. Detachment does not mean giving up on your goal. It means trusting the process and releasing the need to control every detail. This surrender allows the creative forces of the universe to work on your behalf, unimpeded by the interference of doubt. Surrounding yourself with positivity and inspiration also helps fortify your belief. Seek out stories of others who have achieved what you desire, letting their success remind you of what is possible. Avoid environments or conversations that feed doubt, and instead immerse yourself in affirming and empowering influences. Persistence is essential. Doubt may not disappear overnight, but with consistent effort, you can weaken its grip. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your creative power. Over time, doubt will lose its influence, replaced by an unshakable conviction in your ability to shape your reality. In the absence of doubt, creation flows effortlessly. Your vision becomes clear, your energy aligns, and the universe responds with precision. The journey to manifestation is no longer a struggle, but a harmonious unfolding. By replacing doubt with faith, you reclaim your role as a deliberate creator, transforming your desires into living reality. To ignore the evidence of the senses is to step into a realm of creation, where the seen gives way to the unseen, and the material world becomes a reflection of inner conviction. The senses, though invaluable for navigating the physical world, are limited in their ability to comprehend the vast, infinite power of imagination and belief. They tether us to what is, and often blind us to what could be. To manifest your desires and live a life beyond the constraints of your current reality, you must learn to look past the immediate evidence of the senses and trust in the unseen power of your inner world. The senses report only what exists now. They are the chroniclers of the past, for everything you see, hear, touch, taste, or smell in the present moment is the result of previous thoughts, beliefs, and actions. They do not reveal the potential of what you can create. If you allow yourself to be guided solely by what the senses present, you become trapped in a loop, perpetually recreating the same circumstances. True transformation requires the courage to look beyond what is and focus on what you desire to bring into being. Ignoring the evidence of the senses does not mean denying reality or rejecting the material world. It means refusing to let external appearances dictate your inner state. For instance, if you desire abundance, but your current circumstances reflect lack, dwelling on what the senses show will only reinforce the feeling of scarcity. Instead, you must turn inward, using imagination and belief to align yourself with the reality you wish to create. By assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you plant the seed of its manifestation, regardless of the evidence around you. This principle is not a rejection of logic, but an acknowledgement of a higher order of reality. The senses operate within the realm of the known, while creation occurs in the realm of the unknown. To manifest something new, you must step beyond the limitations of logic and embrace the power of imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the finite and the infinite. It allows you to envision possibilities that transcend your current circumstances, making the impossible possible. Faith plays a crucial role in ignoring the evidence of the senses. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the conviction that your desire is already a reality, even when there is no physical proof. Faith is not blind belief, but a deep inner knowing that what you hold in your mind and heart will inevitably materialize. By cultivating faith, you anchor yourself in the reality of your desire, rendering the current evidence of the senses irrelevant. This process requires persistence and discipline. The senses are loud and insistent, constantly drawing your attention to the present moment. It is easy to become discouraged when your outer reality contradicts your inner vision. However, this is precisely when you must stand firm in your belief. The gap between your desire and its manifestation is a test of your commitment to the creative process. Each time you choose to focus on your vision rather than your circumstances, you strengthen your ability to ignore the evidence of the senses and align with the reality you wish to create. Visualization is a powerful tool for this purpose. By vividly imagining your desire as already fulfilled, you shift your focus from what is to what can be. When done with feeling and conviction, visualization creates a mental image so real that it begins to override the evidence of the senses. The subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences, accepts this image as truth and works to bring it into physical form. The more you practice visualization, the easier it becomes to ignore the present evidence and live in the reality of your desired outcome. Another essential practice is gratitude. By expressing gratitude for your desire as though it is already fulfilled, you affirm your belief in its manifestation. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, creating a sense of fulfillment that magnetizes your desire into being. It also reinforces the idea that your desire is not something distant or unattainable, but a present reality that is unfolding in divine timing. Detachment is equally important. Ignoring the evidence of the senses does not mean obsessing over your desire or constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. True detachment is the ability to trust the process and let go of the need to control the outcome. When you detach, you release the resistance created by doubt and impatience, allowing the creative forces of the universe to work on your behalf. Surrounding yourself with positivity and inspiration also helps maintain your focus. Seek out stories of others who have successfully manifested their desires despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Let their journeys remind you of the power of belief and the limitless potential of creation. Avoid negativity and skepticism, which only reinforce the evidence of the senses and weaken your resolve. Ignoring the evidence of the senses is not about escaping reality, but about reshaping it. It is about recognizing that the external world is a mirror of your inner state, and that change begins within. By refusing to be swayed by appearances and instead anchoring yourself in the reality of your desire, you become the master of your destiny. The senses may tell you what is, but your imagination and belief tell you what can be. Trust in the unseen, hold fast to your vision, and watch as the evidence of the senses transforms to reflect the reality you have created. Speaking as if it were already done is one of the most powerful principles in the art of creation. It requires a deliberate choice to align your words with the reality you desire to manifest, rather than with the current circumstances visible to your senses. Words carry immense power. They shape your beliefs, influence your emotions, and communicate to the universe the state of being you have chosen to embody. When you speak as though your desire is already accomplished, you affirm its existence and anchor yourself in the reality of its fulfillment. The act of speaking in the present tense about something you wish to manifest is not about pretending or lying to yourself. It is about stepping into the state of already having what you desire. This shift in language transforms your inner world, reshaping your thoughts and feelings to align with the outcome you seek. The subconscious mind, which governs much of your behavior and creates your reality, takes your words as truth. When you declare that something is already done, the subconscious begins to organize your actions and experiences to reflect that reality. Speaking as if it were already done also cultivates the feeling of fulfillment. Feelings are the fuel of creation. They amplify the vibrational frequency you emit and attract corresponding experiences. When you speak in the language of completion, saying, I am, I have, or it is done, you generate the emotions associated with having your desire. These feelings elevate your vibration, making you a magnet for the reality you wish to experience. This principle requires trust and faith. It is easy to speak from the evidence of your senses, to declare what you see and experience in the present moment. However, this perpetuates the status quo, as your words reinforce your current circumstances. To manifest something new, you must break free from this cycle and speak from the perspective of your desired outcome. This requires you to believe in the unseen and to trust that your words have the power to shape your reality. For example, if your desire is financial abundance, you must avoid statements like I am struggling or I don't have enough. Instead, speak in the language of abundance. I am financially free. I have everything I need and more, or wealth flows to me effortlessly. These declarations may feel unnatural at first, especially if your external reality contradicts them, but with practice they become second nature and their power begins to manifest in your life. Consistency is key when speaking as if it were already done. Your words must align with your vision at all times, not just in moments of intentional focus. Casual conversations, inner dialogue, and even passing remarks must reflect the reality you wish to create. Each word you speak reinforces a belief system, either strengthening or weakening your ability to manifest. By consciously choosing language that affirms your desire, you build a foundation of belief that becomes unshakable over time. It is also important to embody the emotions behind your words. Speaking as if it were already done is not a mechanical process, it is a heartfelt expression of faith and certainty. When you say, I am healthy, feel the vitality coursing through your body. When you declare, I am loved, immerse yourself in the warmth and joy of being cherished. The combination of words and emotions creates a powerful resonance that accelerates the manifestation process. Doubt and negativity have no place in this practice. If you find yourself slipping into statements that contradict your desire, gently redirect your focus. Instead of saying, I hope this works, affirm, it is already working. Instead of lamenting, I don't see any changes, declare, change is happening now. Even if I can't see it yet. This shift in language not only strengthens your belief, but also keeps you aligned with the state of your desire. Visualization can amplify the effectiveness of speaking as if it were already done. As you declare your desire fulfilled, picture it vividly in your mind. See yourself living the reality you have spoken into existence. Combine your words with mental imagery to create a multisensory experience. that impresses your subconscious with the certainty of your vision. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it will manifest in your external world. Gratitude is another powerful tool to complement this practice. By expressing thanks for your desire as though it has already been fulfilled, you reinforce the state of having. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, creating a sense of completion and satisfaction that magnetizes your desire to you. Begin and end each day with declarations of gratitude for your fulfilled vision, anchoring yourself in the reality you wish to create. Speaking as if it were already done is not a passive exercise. It requires boldness and confidence. It challenges you to rise above appearances and claim your role as the creator of your reality. It demands that you take ownership of your words and use them with intention and purpose. Each time you declare your desire fulfilled, you assert your creative power and strengthen your connection to the outcome you seek. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. You do not need elaborate rituals or complex techniques. You only need your voice and the willingness to believe in the power of your words. Speak with conviction. Align your language with your vision and trust that what you declare is already done. In doing so, you shift from a state of wanting to a state of having, paving the way for your desires to manifest effortlessly into your life. Creation begins in the mind, for it is the mind that shapes, forms, and brings into existence the realities we experience. The external world is a reflection of the internal landscape. What you see, touch, and feel in your life is a direct result of the thoughts, beliefs, and imaginations that have been planted and nurtured in your mind. The power of the mind is often underestimated, yet it is the first and most essential tool in the process of creation. To change your life, you must first change your mind, for in the mind resides the potential to create the life you desire. The mind is a vast, fertile field, capable of generating endless possibilities. Every thought you have, whether conscious or subconscious, carries a vibrational energy that attracts experiences that match it. But this is the law of attraction in its purest form. What you focus on, you become. The more energy and attention you give to a particular thought or belief, the more real it becomes in your experience. Your mind does not distinguish between positive or negative thoughts. It simply manifests whatever it believes to be true. Therefore, if you are continually thinking about lack, struggle, or limitation, your mind will create situations that reflect those beliefs. Conversely, if you fill your mind with thoughts of abundance, health, love, and success, your life will shift to reflect those thoughts. Imagination is one of the most powerful tools the mind possesses. It is through imagination that we visualize and feel into the reality we desire. The more vividly and emotionally charged our imagination, the more real and tangible our desires become. Imagination allows you to transcend the limitations of the physical world and step into the realm of possibility. It provides the mental blueprint for what can be. Every invention, every great achievement, every masterpiece of art began as a thought in someone's mind. The mind creates first, and then the external world follows suit. If you can imagine it, you can create it. The key to creation lies not in merely imagining something once, but in consistently dwelling upon the vision until it becomes a living, breathing part of your being. This is where the power of belief comes into play. Belief is the engine that powers creation. What you believe in your mind will manifest in your life, for the mind does not question the validity of your beliefs, it simply acts on them. If you believe that you are destined for greatness, the mind will find ways to make that belief a reality. If you believe you are unworthy or incapable, your mind will create experiences that reinforce those limitations. The process of creation in the mind begins with setting a clear intention. To create something, you must first know what you want. This clarity acts as a guide, directing your thoughts and energy toward a specific goal or outcome. Once your intention is set, the mind begins to work on your behalf, aligning thoughts, feelings, and actions toward that goal. This is why it is so important to be specific in your desires. Vague desires result in vague outcomes. The more precise and clear you are about what you want to create, the more focused your mind becomes, and the quicker the universe aligns with your intention. After setting your intention, the next step is to persist in the mental creation. This means consistently thinking about and imagining your desired outcome, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. The mind must be conditioned to hold the vision of what you want, and this requires practice. It is easy to become distracted by the evidence of the senses, the tangible reality that you see and hear around you. However, true creation requires a shift in focus, away from the physical world and toward the unseen, toward the world of thought and imagination. During this time of mental conditioning, it is essential to believe that your desire is already a reality. Speak and think as if it has already come to pass. When you speak of your desire as if it is already fulfilled, you send a message to your subconscious that it is so. This creates a powerful alignment between your conscious and subconscious minds, propelling your desires into reality. A common obstacle in the process of creation is doubt. Doubt arises when the external world does not immediately reflect the vision held in the mind. It is important to remember that doubt only weakens the creative process. When you doubt, you send mixed signals to your mind, creating confusion and resistance. The mind cannot create effectively when it is conflicted. This is why unwavering faith in the power of your mind is necessary. If you consistently hold the belief that your desires are already in motion, you maintain a positive flow of energy that supports creation. Patience is also essential when creation begins in the mind. Just as a seed must be nurtured before it can grow into a tree, your desires need time to manifest. The mind must be allowed to work through the layers of your current circumstances, dissolving old beliefs and creating new ones. The more persistent and patient you are with your mental creation, the sooner it will appear in physical form. Another powerful tool in this process is gratitude. Gratitude serves as a reminder to the mind that what you desire is already here, even if it has not yet manifested in the physical world. When you practice gratitude for your desires, as though they are already fulfilled, you align yourself with the frequency of having. This not only strengthens your belief, but also magnifies the creative power of your mind. Creation begins in the mind. The mind is the source of all reality, and what you think, feel, and believe shapes the life you experience. By using the power of intention, imagination, belief, and persistence, you can create anything you desire. The key is to remain consistent in your mental creation, to ignore the evidence of the senses, and to trust in the power of your mind. When you do this, your desires will inevitably manifest, for creation starts in the mind and then unfolds in the world around you. In conclusion, the power to shape and transform your reality lies within your mind. Every thought, belief, and feeling you hold has the potential to create the life you desire. By harnessing the power of imagination, assumption, and unwavering belief, you can bring forth the desires of your heart. Remember, creation begins in the mind, and what you focus on will inevitably manifest in your life. It is not a matter of waiting for circumstances to change. It is about changing your internal world first, and then watching as the external world follows suit. Trust the process, stay patient, and speak with confidence as if it is already done. Thank you for your time, and may you continue to create the life you envision with power and clarity. There comes a time when we must examine the garden of our lives, discerning the seeds we've sown and the company we've kept. Relationships, like soil, either nourish us or drain us of our essence. When you pour your time, energy, and love into the wrong people, you do not merely waste effort, you hinder your divine expression. The people we allow into our lives are not random. They act as mirrors, reflecting the deepest aspects of our inner beliefs, fears, and desires. This is not merely a poetic observation, but a profound truth about the nature of human connections. The relationships we cultivate, whether they inspire joy or bring pain, are a direct manifestation of our own inner state. If we truly understood this principle, we would be more intentional about the company we keep, for each person is a reflection of the energy we hold within. When you encounter someone who uplifts and inspires you, it is a reflection of your own growth and self-worth. Their presence highlights the alignment between your inner state and the external world. In their encouragement and support, you see the manifestation of the love and belief you hold for yourself. On the other hand, when someone's presence leaves you feeling diminished, unworthy, or drained, this too is a reflection not of their nature alone, but of some aspect within you that has yet to be healed or recognized. They are holding a mirror to an unacknowledged part of your psyche, inviting you to examine what you believe you deserve. The mirror principle teaches us that the external world is a canvas on which our internal state is projected. Relationships, therefore, are opportunities for self-awareness and transformation. If you find yourself surrounded by those who take more than they give, criticize rather than encourage, or resist your growth, consider the possibility that their presence is a manifestation of your own insecurities or limiting beliefs. Perhaps you have been settling for less than you deserve because you have not fully embraced your worth. The lesson is not to judge or blame others, but to turn inward and address the root cause within yourself. At the heart of this principle is the realization that you are the creator of your reality. The people in your life are not there by accident. They are drawn to the energy you emit, which is shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and self-concept. If you consistently find yourself investing in people who fail to reciprocate, ask yourself, what belief within me is allowing this dynamic to persist? Do I feel unworthy of love, success, or respect? These questions are not easy to confront, but they hold the key to transforming your relationships. When you change your inner world, the external world must follow. If you begin to cultivate self-love, confidence, and a sense of worthiness, you will naturally attract people who reflect these qualities back to you. This is not a matter of luck or coincidence, it is the law of correspondence. Just as a mirror cannot show you a smile unless you smile first, the people in your life cannot reflect love and support unless you embody those qualities within yourself. This does not mean you must carry guilt or shame for the difficult relationships you have endured. Every person who enters your life serves a purpose, even those who bring pain or disappointment. They act as teachers, revealing what you need to see about yourself. Sometimes their role is to challenge you, to push you to set boundaries, or to encourage you to release what no longer serves you. In this way, even the wrong people are instrumental in your growth. Understanding the mirror principle also empowers you to make conscious choices. Once you recognize the reflective nature of relationships, you gain the clarity to discern who aligns with your highest good and who does not. You no longer invest in connections out of fear, obligation, or loneliness. Instead, you choose relationships that enhance your journey, relationships that mirror the love, joy, and abundance you wish to see in your life. Letting go of those who no longer align with your growth is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration to the universe that you value your energy and will no longer waste it on relationships that do not reflect your highest potential. As you release these connections, you create space for new relationships that resonate with the person you are becoming. The beauty of the mirror principle is that it invites you to take full responsibility for your reality while offering the promise of transformation. If you do not like the reflections you see, you have the power to change them by working on yourself. By aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the life you desire, you will naturally attract people who reflect that vision back to you. They will appear as mirrors of your growth, encouraging you to continue evolving. The mirror principle is not about others, it is about you. It is a reminder that the world around you is a reflection of the world within you. As you honor your worth, embrace your potential, and live authentically, the people in your life will mirror these qualities back to you. They will serve as reminders of the beauty and power that already exist within, guiding you toward a life of harmony, abundance, and love. Your energy is the essence of who you are, the vital force that drives your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is not infinite, it requires replenishment and protection, for it is through this energy that you create and navigate your life. Yet so often people give their energy away indiscriminately, investing in situations, people, and pursuits that do not honor or reciprocate its value. To understand that energy is sacred is to recognize its significance and to become intentional about where and how you channel it. Every interaction, whether a fleeting exchange or a deeply rooted relationship, involves the transfer of energy. When you engage with others, you are either pouring energy into them or receiving energy in return. Ideally, this exchange is balanced, a mutual flow that leaves both parties enriched. However, there are times when this balance is absent. You may find yourself giving far more than you receive, leaving you depleted, exhausted, and disconnected from your own vitality. This imbalance often stems from a lack of awareness of your energy's worth. When you do not value your energy, you allow it to be siphoned by those who do not appreciate or respect it. These are the situations and relationships that leave you feeling drained rather than nourished. They act as energetic black holes, consuming what you offer without giving anything of substance in return. Over time, this can lead to emotional fatigue, a diminished sense of self, and even physical exhaustion. To protect your energy, you must first become aware of where it is going. Reflect on the people and activities in your life. Are they uplifting, inspiring, and aligning with your values? Or do they feel burdensome, demanding more from you than they provide? By identifying the sources of energetic imbalance, you can begin to make conscious choices about where to direct your attention and effort. Setting boundaries is a vital part of this process. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about preserving your energy for what truly matters. They are an act of self-respect, a declaration that your energy is valuable and should not be taken for granted. When you set boundaries, you create a space in which your energy can be used intentionally, whether for personal growth, meaningful relationships, or creative pursuits. It is important to recognize that not everyone will honor your boundaries, and not everyone is meant to remain in your life. There will be those who resist your newfound clarity, who may even attempt to guilt or manipulate you into continuing to pour energy into them. This is where discernment becomes crucial. You must trust yourself enough to let go of relationships and situations that no longer serve your well-being. Doing so is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-preservation. At the same time, you must also be mindful of how you expend your energy on thoughts and emotions. Worry, fear, and resentment can drain your energy just as much as unbalanced relationships. These emotions often arise from dwelling on the past or fearing the future, pulling you away from the present moment, where your energy is most potent. By cultivating mindfulness and focusing on what is within your control, you can reclaim the energy that might otherwise be lost to unproductive mental patterns. Once you begin to protect your energy, you can channel it into pursuits that bring you joy, fulfillment, and growth. These are the activities and relationships that leave you feeling energized rather than depleted, that contribute to your well-being and align with your highest self. When you invest your energy in such ways, it multiplies, creating a positive feedback loop that enhances every aspect of your life. Remember, your energy is not just sacred, it is creative. It is through your energy that you manifest your desires, shape your reality, and influence the world around you. Every thought, every action, every interaction is a use of this sacred resource. When you understand this, you become more intentional, choosing to direct your energy toward what truly matters and letting go of what does not. To treat your energy as sacred is to honor yourself. It is to acknowledge that your well-being is not a luxury but a necessity, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. By prioritizing your energy, you give yourself the foundation to thrive, to build meaningful connections, and to pursue your passions with vigor and clarity. Your energy is your responsibility. No one else can protect it for you, and no one else can dictate how you use it. This is both a privilege and a challenge, requiring you to remain aware, intentional, and aligned with your values. But as you learn to treat your energy as the sacred force it is, you will find that your life transforms. You will attract people and experiences that uplift you, and you will have the strength and clarity to let go of what no longer serves you. In this way, you honor not only your energy, but also the unique and powerful being you are. Attachment is a natural part of human experience. We form bonds with people, possessions, and even ideas that bring us comfort, security, or joy. However, attachment becomes a burden when it is rooted in fear, dependency, or an unwillingness to let go. The weight of unhealthy attachment can be suffocating, binding us to things that no longer serve our growth or align with our highest good. It is essential to recognize when attachment hinders rather than nurtures, and to cultivate the courage to release what holds us back. At its core, attachment is the result of identifying something outside ourselves as essential to our happiness or identity. So we cling to relationships because we fear loneliness, hold on to material possessions because they provide a sense of worth, or refuse to release outdated beliefs because they have become the foundation of our comfort zones. Yet, these attachments often lead to stagnation. They create a dependency that limits our ability to evolve and explore the vast possibilities life has to offer. The weight of attachment manifests as resistance. It resists change, fearing the uncertainty that comes with letting go. This resistance can stifle growth, trapping us in cycles of dissatisfaction and frustration. We may know deep down that a certain relationship, job, or habit no longer aligns with who we are becoming, yet we hesitate to move on. Why? Because attachment whispers lies to us, convincing us that we cannot thrive without what we are holding on to. Consider the emotional toll of clinging to a relationship that has run its course. Instead of bringing joy or mutual growth, it becomes a source of conflict, stress, or unmet expectations. Yet the thought of releasing it feels unbearable, as if doing so would shatter a part of us. This is the illusion of attachment, the belief that our sense of self is intertwined with external circumstances. In reality, true freedom lies in realizing that nothing outside of ourselves is the source of our wholeness. Attachment also thrives on fear of loss, fear of change, and fear of the unknown. It convinces us that holding on is safer than letting go, even when what we are holding on to is weighing us down. But this fear is a barrier, a wall between us and the life we are meant to live. When we release attachment, we are not losing, we are making space for something better. We are shedding the unnecessary weight that prevents us from rising to our full potential. Letting go does not mean we stop caring. It means we stop controlling. It is about releasing the need to force outcomes or cling to things that no longer align with our highest good. It is an act of trust, a declaration that we believe in the flow of life and its ability to bring us what we truly need. Letting go allows us to honor the past while embracing the present and opening ourselves to the future. To release attachment, we must first cultivate awareness. Awareness begins with asking honest questions. What am I holding on to? Why am I so attached? Does this bring me joy? Or am I clinging out of fear? When we reflect on these questions, we begin to see the ways in which attachment has shaped our choices and constrained our freedom. This awareness is the first step toward liberation. Once we are aware, we must practice detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means engaging with life without becoming entangled in it. It is the art of experiencing relationships, possessions, and situations fully, while remaining rooted in the understanding that they are not the source of our identity or happiness. Detachment frees us to love and appreciate without the need to control or possess. Detachment also requires faith. Faith in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the knowledge that what is meant for us will never miss us. When we trust that life is always working in our favor, we can release the fear that drives unhealthy attachment. We can let go of the weight that has kept us bound and step into the lightness of being free. The weight of attachment is heavy, but liberation is light. When we release what no longer serves us, we create space for growth, joy, and new possibilities. We discover that we are not defined by what we have or who we are with, but by the infinite potential within us. Releasing attachment is not an end, it is a beginning, a step toward a life of authenticity, peace, and boundless opportunity. Attachment is a lesson, a teacher guiding us to greater awareness of ourselves. Each time we release an attachment, we grow stronger, more aligned with our true selves. The weight of attachment may feel overwhelming, but with each step of letting go, we find that the burden lifts and we are free to soar toward the life we were always meant to live. Deep within each of us lies an inner voice, a quiet yet persistent guide that speaks in moments of stillness and clarity. It is not the voice of fear, doubt, or external influences, but a whisper of truth, intuition, and profound wisdom. To recognize your inner voice is to connect with the essence of who you are, the part of you that knows your path, your purpose, and the steps you must take to align with your highest potential. Yet, in a world filled with noise, distractions, and conflicting opinions, hearing this voice requires awareness, trust, and practice. Your inner voice is not loud or demanding. It does not clamor for your attention as the outer world often does. Instead, it speaks softly, offering guidance in moments when you need it most. It may come as a feeling in your gut, a sudden insight, or a persistent nudge in a certain direction. Unlike the chatter of the mind, which often oscillates between anxiety and overthinking, your inner voice is calm and assured. It carries a sense of knowing that transcends logic, a connection to something deeper and more profound. This voice begins with creating space for it. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to become so consumed with external demands that we neglect the inner world. The constant barrage of information, opinions, and expectations can drown out the quiet whispers of intuition. To hear your inner voice, you must first quiet the noise. This can be done through practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking time to sit in silence. When you pause and turn inward, you create the conditions for your inner voice to emerge. Listening to your inner voice also requires trust. Too often, we second-guess our instincts, dismissing them as irrational or unfounded. We seek validation from others, looking outward for answers that can only truly be found within. But your inner voice is your truest guide, born of your experiences, wisdom, and connection to the greater whole. Trusting it means believing in your ability to make decisions that align with your authentic self, even when those decisions defy logic or contradict external advice. One of the greatest challenges to recognizing your inner voice is distinguishing it from the voice of fear. Fear masquerades as intuition, filling your mind with doubts and worst-case scenarios. It urges you to stay in your comfort zone, warning you against risks or change. Your inner voice, by contrast, encourages growth. It may guide you toward paths that feel uncertain or uncomfortable, but it does so with a sense of purpose and possibility. To discern between fear and intuition, pay attention to how each feels in your body. Fear often brings tension, unease, and confusion, while your inner voice evokes calmness, clarity, and a deep sense of rightness. The inner voice is not just a guide, it is also a reflection of your deepest desires and truths. It reveals what truly matters to you, beyond societal expectations or superficial goals. By listening to it, you align with your authentic self, making choices that resonate with who you are at your core. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment, even when the path is challenging. It reminds you that your journey is uniquely yours and that your worth is not determined by external measures of success. Your inner voice also means honoring it. When you hear its guidance, act on it. Ignoring your inner voice or pushing it aside in favor of external validation weakens your connection to it. Over time, this can lead to a sense of disconnection or confusion, as though you are living someone else's life rather than your own. Honoring your inner voice strengthens your intuition, building trust in yourself and your ability to navigate life's complexities. There will be moments when following your inner voice feels daunting. It may lead you to make decisions that others do not understand or approve of. It may require you to let go of familiar but unfulfilling patterns and step into the unknown. In these moments, remember that your inner voice is a compass, not a guarantee of ease. It does not promise a path free of obstacles, but it does promise a path that is true. Trusting it is an act of courage, a declaration that you are willing to prioritize authenticity over conformity. To recognize your inner voice is to reconnect with your essence, the part of you that is timeless, wise, and unshaken by the fleeting concerns of the outer world. It is a practice of self-awareness, requiring patience and persistence. But as you cultivate this connection, you will find that your inner voice becomes clearer, guiding you with unwavering certainty toward the life you are meant to live. In recognizing and trusting this voice, you reclaim your power, align with your truth, and discover the profound peace of living in harmony with your authentic self. The company you keep shapes the foundation of your life. It influences your thoughts, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. To thrive in this world, it is vital to surround yourself with builders, those who inspire, uplift, and contribute positively to your growth. Builders are the people who see your potential even when you doubt it yourself. They encourage you to aim higher, push through challenges, and create a life of meaning and purpose. In their presence, you do not simply exist, you expand, thrive, and build. Builders are not just individuals who support you passively. They are active participants in your journey, challenging you to dream bigger while helping you lay the groundwork to achieve those dreams. They hold you accountable, not by criticizing but by reminding you of your capabilities. Builders are visionaries in their own right, and their energy motivates you to become a visionary too. When you are in their presence, their passion is contagious, sparking a drive within you to pursue your goals relentlessly. To surround yourself with builders, you must first identify who they are. Builders are not necessarily the loudest voices in your life. They are not those who flatter or agree with you out of convenience. Instead, builders are those who challenge you to grow, who inspire you by their own actions, and who celebrate your progress without envy or competition. They may not always tell you what you want to hear, but they will always tell you what you need to hear. Builders prioritize honesty, growth, and mutual respect. Recognizing builders also requires discernment. Not everyone in your life will have your best interests at heart. Some may masquerade as supporters while subtly undermining your confidence or steering you toward paths that serve their agenda rather than yours. Builders, on the other hand, have no hidden motives. Their encouragement stems from a genuine desire to see you succeed. They understand that your success does not diminish their own, instead, it adds to the collective strength of the relationship. Builders are not limited to a specific role or relationship. They can be friends, mentors, colleagues, or even family members. What matters is not their title, but their energy, their ability to uplift and inspire you. They see the bigger picture and remind you to stay focused on your goals when distractions arise. They understand the value of perseverance and encourage you to keep going, even when the road gets tough. To cultivate relationships with builders, you must also strive to be a builder yourself. Relationships are reciprocal, and the energy you bring to the table often determines what you receive in return. Be the kind of person who uplifts others, who encourages their dreams, and who offers support without expecting anything in return. When you embody the qualities of a builder, you naturally attract others with the same mindset. Being a builder requires self-awareness and intention. It means avoiding negativity, gossip, or behaviors that drain energy from others. Instead, focus on fostering positivity and creating opportunities for mutual growth. Celebrate the successes of those around you and offer a helping hand when they face challenges. Builders thrive in communities where everyone contributes to the collective good, creating an environment of trust, support, and shared vision. Surrounding yourself with builders also means letting go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. This is not an act of selfishness but of self-preservation. If someone consistently drains your energy, undermines your confidence, or resists your progress, it may be time to reevaluate their place in your life. Letting go of such relationships creates space for healthier, more supportive connections to enter. It allows you to focus your time and energy on relationships that nourish your soul and propel you forward. The presence of builders in your life is transformative. They remind you of your worth when self-doubt creeps in, and they push you to keep building even when the results are not yet visible. Builders teach you the value of persistence, patience, and resilience. They celebrate not just your achievements but the effort and dedication it took to get there. In their presence, you are not afraid to dream because you know you have a team of supporters who believe in your vision as much as you do. The decision to surround yourself with builders is a commitment to your growth. It is a choice to prioritize relationships that align with your values, goals, and aspirations. Builders are not just companions, they are co-creators of the life you are building. Their energy fuels your journey, and their belief in you becomes a cornerstone of your success. When you surround yourself with builders, you are reminded that you are never alone in your pursuit of greatness. Together, you create a foundation of strength, resilience, and limitless potential. In every life, there comes a moment when the weight of holding on becomes greater than the fear of letting go. We cling to people, memories, beliefs, and even pain, thinking they define us or that without them, we will be lost. Yet, the truth is, the act of release is not a loss. It is a liberation. To release is to free yourself from what no longer serves you, to unchain your spirit from burdens that keep you stagnant, and to create space for growth, healing, and transformation. The power of release is one of the most profound forces in life, a gateway to peace and renewal. When we hold on too tightly, we bind ourselves to the past. This attachment often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of change, or fear of facing life without the comfort of familiarity. We convince ourselves that letting go means abandoning something precious, even if that thing has caused us pain or limited our potential. But release is not an act of abandonment, it is an act of trust. It is a declaration that you believe in something greater ahead, that your worth is not tied to what you've lost but to what you are yet to become. It requires courage because it often involves confronting uncomfortable truths. Perhaps the person you've held on to is not capable of giving you the love you deserve. Maybe the dream you once cherished no longer aligns with the person you've grown into. Or it could be that the story you tell yourself about your limitations is nothing more than a false narrative rooted in fear. Whatever the case, the act of release asks you to face these realities and accept them without judgment. In this acceptance lies the seed of transformation. The power of release is not just about letting go of external things, it is also about releasing the internal weights that hinder your growth. Resentment, guilt, anger, and regret are heavy burdens to carry. They consume your energy and rob you of the joy and freedom that come with living in the present moment. Releasing these emotions does not mean denying them or pretending they never existed. It means acknowledging them, understanding their lessons, and then choosing to set them down. You do not need to carry the weight of every hurt, every mistake, or every disappointment. Release them, and in their place, you will find lightness and clarity. When you release, you make space for new beginnings. Imagine a clenched fist gripping tightly to something. As long as the fist remains closed, it cannot receive anything new. But when the hand opens, it becomes ready to accept. The same is true in life. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create room for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences to flow into your life. The act of release is an act of faith in the abundance of life, a belief that what is meant for you will find its way to you when you are ready to receive it. Release also teaches you the art of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up or resigning yourself to defeat. It is about trusting the flow of life, recognizing that some things are beyond your control, and choosing to let go of the struggle. When you release the need to control every outcome, you align yourself with the natural rhythms of life. This alignment brings peace, for you are no longer fighting against the current but flowing with it. You learn to trust the process, knowing that life is always working for your highest good. The act of release is deeply healing. It allows you to break free from cycles of pain and repetition, to step out of patterns that have held you captive. As you release, you reclaim your power, the power to choose, to move forward, and to create a life that reflects your true self. You are no longer defined by what you've lost or what you've let go of. Instead, you are defined by your ability to rise, to transform, and to embrace the limitless possibilities that await. Releasing does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that the people, experiences, or emotions you let go of were insignificant. On the contrary, it honors their role in your journey. Release is a way of saying, thank you for the lessons, but I no longer need to carry you. It is an act of gratitude and wisdom, a recognition that everything has its season and that your life is an evolving story. The power of release is a gift you give to yourself. It is an act of love, a declaration that you are worthy of peace, freedom, and the life you desire. When you release, you let go of the chains that bind you to the past and step boldly into the present, ready to create a future filled with light and possibility. Trust in the power of release, and you will discover the profound freedom and joy that come from letting go. In life, the art of release is both a challenge and a blessing. It calls us to let go of the weights that no longer serve us, to trust in the flow of life, and to create space for growth, healing, and renewal. Releasing is not an act of loss but of liberation, a powerful declaration of faith in the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. It teaches us to surrender control, embrace change, and align with the rhythms of life, knowing that what is meant for us will always find its way. As you embrace the power of release, remember that it is a gift you give to yourself, a gift of freedom, clarity, and peace. By letting go of the past and the burdens you carry, you reclaim your energy, your purpose, and your joy. You are not defined by what you leave behind, but by the strength and courage with which you move forward. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey of reflection and transformation with you. May you find the courage to release, the wisdom to heal, and the strength to build the life you truly deserve. Let us begin with a truth that often goes unnoticed. Life does not happen to us, it happens through us. The world you see, the circumstances you face, and the life you lead are not imposed upon you, they are reflections of what you carry within. When I realized this, everything changed. Today I want to share 5 transformative habits that reshaped my existence. They may seem simple, but their impact is profound. In the quiet recesses of your mind lies a force so powerful, it shapes the very fabric of your existence. This force is your inner conversation, the ceaseless dialogue you hold with yourself day in and day out. Many people overlook it, dismissing it as mere thoughts or fleeting whispers, yet it is the architect of your reality. Every word, every feeling, and every belief you silently entertain within yourself is creating the world you experience. To understand the power of inner conversations is to grasp the key to transforming your life. Your inner dialogue is not idle chatter. It is the blueprint of your destiny, what you continuously affirm to yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, manifests as the circumstances of your life. If you often think, "I am not good enough," the world will echo this sentiment, presenting situations and people that reinforce your belief. Conversely, if your inner speech is filled with confidence and conviction, saying, "I am deserving of the best," life will reflect that, providing opportunities and blessings in alignment with this truth. To grasp the magnitude of this, consider the principle of self-concept. The way you see yourself determines what you allow into your life. If you believe yourself to be capable, worthy, and abundant, you open the door to those experiences. Your inner conversation acts as a guard at this door, filtering what can and cannot enter. This is why mastering the dialogue within is paramount. It is the key to shifting your self-concept, and by extension, your reality. But why does this inner dialogue have such power? The answer lies in the fact that your subconscious mind is always listening. It takes every word, every feeling, and every thought you impress upon it, and works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. The subconscious does not argue, debate, or question. It accepts as truth whatever you repeatedly tell it. If your inner speech is filled with complaints, doubts, and fears, the subconscious will faithfully reproduce these in your life. But if you affirm positivity, success, and joy, it will just as faithfully bring those into being. The good news is that you have the ability to change your inner conversation at any moment. You are not bound by the scripts of your past. The stories you tell yourself today have the power to overwrite the ones that no longer serve you. This requires deliberate effort and awareness. Begin by observing your inner speech. What are you telling yourself in moments of quiet? Are your thoughts aligned with the life you want to create, or are they sabotaging your desires? This simple act of observation can reveal patterns that you might not have been aware of before. Once you become conscious of your inner dialogue, the next step is to take control of it. This is not about forcing yourself into blind positivity, but about intentionally directing your thoughts in alignment with your goals and aspirations. Let's start by affirming what you wish to be true. If you desire confidence, repeatedly tell yourself, "I am confident. I am capable. I am strong. Say it not as a wish, but as a fact. The words must carry conviction, because your subconscious responds to the feeling behind the words, not just the words themselves. The power of inner conversations also lies in their persistence. It is not enough to affirm something once and expect miraculous change. Your inner speech must become a habit, a consistent thread running through your daily life. This is not as difficult as it may seem. Every moment you catch yourself slipping into negative or limiting thoughts, replace them with affirmations of your desired state. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and your subconscious begins to reflect these new patterns. It is important to note that your inner conversation does not operate in isolation. It is deeply intertwined with your emotions and beliefs. Words spoken without feeling or belief carry little weight. This is why imagination and visualization are powerful companions to your inner dialogue. When you affirm something, pair it with a vivid mental image of that truth. For instance, if you are affirming abundance, imagine yourself living in that state, perhaps walking through your dream home, enjoying financial freedom, or feeling the deep peace that comes with security. By doing this, you impress the idea more deeply into your subconscious. Resistance is a common challenge in mastering inner conversations. Doubts may arise, especially if your current reality seems far removed from what you are affirming. This is where persistence becomes critical. Remember that your current circumstances are the result of past inner conversations. They are not permanent. By continuing to affirm your desired state, you are planting new seeds that will eventually blossom, replacing the old. Another crucial aspect of inner conversations is how they shape your interactions with the world. Your inner dialogue influences how you perceive others and how you respond to them. If you habitually think negatively about people or situations, you are likely to encounter more negativity in return. But if you choose to see the good, to affirm harmony and understanding, you will find your relationships transforming for the better. The transformation brought about by mastering your inner conversation is not limited to one area of life. It touches everything: your health, your relationships, your career, and your sense of purpose. When you take control of your inner dialogue, you reclaim your power as the creator of your life. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or other people. Instead, you become the deliberate architect of your experience, shaping your world with every thought and word. Inner conversations are the bridge between your inner world and the outer world. They are the silent force that governs what you attract, what you repel, and what you become. To master them is to master your life. Life from the end is to dwell mentally in the state of your fulfilled desire, as though it were already a fact. It is a practice of seeing the world not as it is, but as you wish it to be. This approach is not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is about assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and living in harmony with that reality until it hardens into fact. At its core, living from the end is about alignment. It requires aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the life you desire to create. The principle is simple yet profound. You must be the person who already possesses what you seek. If you desire love, you must live as though you are already deeply loved. If you desire abundance, you must carry yourself with the confidence and ease of one who is financially free. This alignment is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about embodying the truth of your desired state so completely that it becomes inevitable. One of the greatest challenges in living from the end is transcending the evidence of the senses. The physical world constantly presents you with facts that may contradict your desires. Perhaps your bank account shows a balance far removed from abundance, or your current circumstances seem devoid of love, success, or health. Yet, to live from the end is to rise above these appearances. It is to understand that the outer world is but a shadow of your inner state. What you see now is merely the result of past thinking. To change your reality, you must first change your inner world. Living from the end is not a passive state. It is an active, deliberate practice. It begins in the mind with the power of imagination. Close your eyes and create a vivid mental picture of your fulfilled desire. See yourself in the scene of your ideal life. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? engage all your senses to make the experience as real as possible. For example, if your desire is to own a home, imagine yourself walking through its rooms, feeling the textures of the walls, hearing the echoes of your footsteps, and smelling the fresh paint. The more vivid and detailed your imagination, the more effectively you impress this vision upon your subconscious mind. But imagination alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by feeling. Feeling is the secret ingredient that gives life to your mental picture. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were fulfilled? Would you feel joy, peace, gratitude, or relief? Whatever the emotion, allow yourself to experience it fully in the present moment. This feeling is not a reaction to external circumstances, but an internal state that you generate. By consistently feeling the emotions of your fulfilled desire, you condition your subconscious to accept this reality as true. Living from the end also requires a deep trust in the unseen. You may not know how or when your desire will manifest, and that is perfectly fine. The how is not your concern, it is the domain of infinite intelligence, the creative power that governs the universe. Your role is to assume the end, to dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire, and to trust that the path will reveal itself. This trust is not a blind faith, but a knowing, a conviction that the unseen forces of life are working in your favor. Another important aspect of living from the end is consistency. You cannot waver between the state of fulfillment and the state of lack. Doing so sends mixed signals to your subconscious and delays the manifestation of your desire. Instead, make a firm decision to live from the end, regardless of external appearances. This does not mean denying reality or ignoring your current responsibilities. It means holding steadfastly to your vision and aligning your inner state with it at all times. Living from the end also transforms the way you interact with the world. When you carry yourself as someone who already possesses what they desire, you exude a sense of confidence and assurance that others can feel. This energy attracts opportunities, relationships, and circumstances that align with your vision. People respond to the state you embody, often without even realizing it. By living from the end, you become a magnet for the very things you seek. There is also a profound sense of peace that comes with this practice. When you live from the end, you no longer feel the need to struggle, chase, or force outcomes. You know that your desire is already yours, and you rest in that knowing. This does not mean you sit idle. On the contrary, you take inspired action that aligns with your vision. But these actions come from a place of confidence and flow, not desperation or fear. As you continue to live from the end, you may notice subtle changes in your life. Opportunities arise seemingly out of nowhere, obstacles dissolve, and people begin to treat you differently. These are not coincidences, they are the natural result of your inner shift. The world is a mirror, and as you change within, the reflection must change as well. The beauty of living from the end is that it places the power firmly in your hands. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, reacting to life as it unfolds. Instead, you become the creator of your experience, shaping your reality with every thought, feeling, and action. This realization is liberating. It reminds you that you are not at the mercy of life, you are the master of it. Gratitude is more than a fleeting emotion or a polite thank you in passing. It is a transformative state of being, a way of seeing the world through the lens of abundance rather than lack. Practicing daily gratitude opens a doorway to a richer, fuller life. It shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do, from what is missing to what is already present. Gratitude, when cultivated consistently, becomes a powerful force that shapes your reality, harmonizing your inner state with the limitless blessings of the universe. To begin with, gratitude transforms perception. What you focus on grows in your awareness. When you deliberately practice gratitude, you train your mind to see the good in every situation, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This practice rewires your brain, creating new neural pathways that make positivity your default perspective. Imagine waking each morning with a heart full of thanks for simply being alive. The air you breathe, the light streaming through your window, the sound of birds outside, these are not mere details, they are gifts. When you start your day with this mindset, you set the tone for positivity to flow through everything you do. Daily gratitude is also a form of acknowledgement. It recognizes the interconnectedness of life and the countless ways in which you are supported. From the food on your table to the people who enrich your life, gratitude is a way of saying, I see the abundance around me and I honor it. This acknowledgement not only deepens your appreciation but also strengthens your connection to the source of all creation, reinforcing the flow of blessings into your life. The act of expressing gratitude is equally transformative. Whether you write it down in a journal, speak it aloud, or silently reflect, the practice anchors you in the present moment. Gratitude pulls you out of the endless cycle of worry about the future or regret over the past. It grounds you in the now, where all your power resides. In this moment, as you give thanks, you align yourself with the vibration of abundance, creating a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. One of the most profound aspects of gratitude is its ability to transform challenges into opportunities. Life is not without its trials, but even in adversity, there is something to be grateful for. Challenges often carry hidden lessons, pushing you to grow, to reevaluate, and to rise stronger than before. Gratitude in these moments is not about denying the difficulty, but about finding the silver lining, the strength, the resilience, the clarity that arises from the storm. By being grateful for the lessons, you transcend the pain and align yourself with the wisdom it brings. Daily gratitude also impacts your relationships. When you consistently express appreciation for the people in your life, you strengthen the bonds that connect you. Gratitude shifts your focus from their flaws to their gifts, fostering empathy and understanding. So, imagine the impact of telling someone, I'm so grateful for how you support me, or thank you for being a part of my life. These simple words can deepen trust, heal rifts, and nurture love in ways that are truly profound. On a larger scale, gratitude amplifies manifestation. When you express thanks for what you already have, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Gratitude is like a magnet. It attracts more of what you appreciate. By focusing on your blessings, you create an energetic state that draws similar vibrations into your life. Now, this is not merely a spiritual concept, but a psychological truth. When you focus on abundance, you notice more opportunities, act with greater confidence, and make choices that align with your desired reality. The beauty of daily gratitude lies in its simplicity. You don't need elaborate rituals or grand gestures to practice it. Begin with small moments. Thank your body for carrying you through the day. Appreciate the warmth of your morning coffee, or cherish the kind words of a friend. As you make gratitude a habit, you'll find it spilling over into all aspects of your life. It becomes second nature, a steady undercurrent of appreciation that colors every thought and action. Gratitude also nurtures inner peace. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you free yourself from the grip of comparison and envy. Gratitude dissolves the need for external validation, replacing it with a sense of contentment and self-assurance. You no longer measure your worth by what others possess, because you recognize the unique blessings in your own life. This inner peace radiates outward, influencing how you interact with the world and inviting more harmony into your experience. Even in the darkest moments, gratitude can be your anchor. It is the light that guides you through uncertainty, the compass that keeps you aligned with your true self. When life feels overwhelming, take a moment to pause and reflect, what can I be grateful for right now? It might be as simple as the breath in your lungs or the hope that sustains you. This shift in focus can bring clarity and calm, reminding you that even in chaos, there is something to hold on to. As you cultivate daily gratitude, you may find your heart expanding. Gratitude opens you to the fullness of life, revealing beauty and abundance in places you once overlooked. It creates a sense of wholeness, a recognition that you are supported, guided, and blessed in ways both seen and unseen. This is the power of gratitude. It not only transforms your inner world, but also shapes the outer reality to reflect the abundance you carry within. Imagination is the workshop of creation. It is the invisible force that shapes your reality, the bridge between the unseen world of thought and the tangible realm of experience. Yet, imagination is often left untamed, wandering aimlessly, reacting to the circumstances around it rather than directing the course of life. Intentional imagination is the deliberate practice of shaping your inner world to align with the life you wish to live. It is the conscious act of creating, through thought and feeling, the reality you desire. To engage in intentional imagination is to recognize the power you hold as the architect of your own experience. Every thought you dwell upon, every image you vividly create in your mind, sets a process in motion. The universe responds not to what you want, but to who you are being in thought and feeling. This is why intentional imagination is so transformative. It allows you to step into the role of creator, consciously directing your mental energy toward the fulfillment of your desires. The first step in harnessing intentional imagination is clarity. You must know what you want. Without a clear vision, your imagination cannot act with purpose. This clarity is not about setting rigid goals or obsessing over specifics. It is about identifying the essence of your desire. Ask yourself, what is the feeling I seek? Is it joy, love, freedom, abundance, or peace? Once you understand the core of your desire, you can begin to craft a mental scene that embodies it. This is where imagination becomes intentional. Close your eyes and step into the world of your fulfilled desire. Create a vivid mental picture of the life you want to live. Engage all your senses, see the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and even smell the air. For example, if your desire is to live in a beautiful home, imagine yourself walking through it. Run your hands along the walls, feel the warmth of the sunlight streaming through the windows, and listen to the echo of your footsteps on the floor. Make it real in your mind, so much so that your body begins to respond as though it were physically present. But imagination alone is not enough. It must be fueled by emotion. Feeling is the secret ingredient that breathes life into your mental images. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? Would you feel joyful, grateful, relieved, or excited? Whatever the feeling, allow it to rise within you as you immerse yourself in the scene. This emotional charge is what impresses your vision upon your subconscious mind, setting the creative process into motion. Intentional imagination requires discipline. It is not enough to visualize your desire once and hope for the best. You must make it a daily practice, a consistent effort to dwell in the state of your wish fulfilled. This is not about forcing or straining. It is about gently redirecting your thoughts whenever they stray. If doubt arises, remind yourself that the inner world is the true reality, and that what you imagine with conviction will eventually harden into fact. This practice is deeply personal. It is not about convincing others of your vision or seeking validation from the outside world. Intentional imagination is a private communion with your inner self, a sacred space where you shape the life you wish to lead. Protect this space and let no one disturb it with skepticism or negativity. Your imagination is your sanctuary, the place where all things are possible. As you continue to practice intentional imagination, you may notice subtle changes in your life. Opportunities may arise unexpectedly, challenges may resolve themselves, and people may treat you differently. These shifts are not coincidences. They are the natural result of the inner work you are doing. The world is a mirror, reflecting the state of your mind. When you change within, the outer reality must follow. Intentional imagination also cultivates a deep sense of trust. You may not know how or when your desire will manifest, but you trust that it will. This trust is not passive. It is an active, unwavering confidence in the creative process. You know that the same power that created the stars and the oceans resides within you, and it is working on your behalf. This trust allows you to let go of the need to control and instead focus on the joy of creation. Intentional imagination is an act of self-love. By envisioning and feeling into the life you desire, you affirm that you are worthy of it. You declare to yourself and the universe that you deserve to live a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment. This self-affirmation is the foundation upon which your dreams are built, and it is the key to unlocking the limitless potential within you. The first step in cultivating the discipline of focus is to understand its value. Your attention is your most precious resource. Where you direct it determines the quality of your experiences and the trajectory of your life. Imagine a beam of sunlight concentrated through a magnifying glass. It can ignite a flame. Similarly, when your focus is concentrated, it can ignite profound transformation, turning vague desires into concrete realities. Yet, focus is not merely about effort, it is about intention. To focus effectively, you must know what you want. Without a clear purpose, focus becomes aimless, like a ship without a rudder. This is why clarity is the foundation of focus. Take the time to define your goals, whether they are related to personal growth, professional achievement, or spiritual fulfillment. Write them down, visualize them, and reflect on why they matter to you. This clarity will serve as your anchor, keeping you steady amidst the distractions of daily life. One of the greatest challenges to focus is the constant barrage of external distractions. Notifications, social media, endless to-do lists, these are the enemies of deep focus. To overcome them, you must create an environment that supports your discipline. Turn off unnecessary notifications, designate specific times for checking emails or messages, and eliminate clutter from your physical and digital spaces. These small changes signal to your mind that you are serious about your focus, allowing you to dive deeper into the tasks that matter most. The discipline of focus also requires prioritization. Not everything deserves your attention. To focus deeply, you must be willing to say no to distractions, even those that seem urgent but are not truly important. This may mean declining invitations, postponing tasks, or stepping back from obligations that do not align with your goals. Remember, every no to something unimportant is a yes to what truly matters. Another key to cultivating focus is managing your energy. Focus is not just a mental act, it is deeply connected to your physical and emotional state. A well-rested, nourished, and calm mind can focus more effectively than a fatigued or stressed one. Prioritize self-care, exercise, and mindfulness practices to keep your energy levels high. Recognize that focus is a finite resource. Work in focused intervals, taking breaks to recharge before diving back in. The practice of single tasking is a powerful way to strengthen your focus. In a culture that glorifies multitasking, single tasking is a radical act of discipline. When you give your full attention to one task at a time, you not only complete it more efficiently, but also with greater quality. Single tasking trains your brain to remain engaged, building the neural pathways that support sustained focus over time. Focus also thrives on rhythm. Establishing routines and rituals creates a structure that supports your discipline. Whether it's dedicating the first hour of your day to a specific task, meditating before starting work, or setting aside time for reflection, these practices help your mind settle into a rhythm of productivity. Over time, these rituals become second nature, reducing the effort required to maintain focus. The discipline of focus is about aligning your inner and outer worlds. When your thoughts, actions, and environment are all directed toward a common purpose, focus becomes effortless. It is not something you force, but something you embody, a natural state of alignment with your highest intentions. In this state, distractions lose their power, and your energy is fully available for the life you are consciously creating. Letting go is not about losing, it is about freeing yourself. It is the gentle art of releasing what no longer serves you, whether it is an idea, a belief, an emotion, or a situation. The habit of letting go is one of the most liberating practices you can cultivate, for it clears the space within you for new possibilities to emerge. It is not an act of resignation, but an act of empowerment and acknowledgement that clinging to what is no longer aligned with your growth only holds you back. To understand letting go, one must first confront attachment. As humans, we have a natural tendency to hold on to people, memories, expectations, and outcomes. These attachments give us a sense of security, a feeling of control. Yet often, they become the very chains that bind us. They weigh us down, cloud our vision, and keep us rooted in the past or fixated on the future, unable to fully embrace the present. Letting go begins with awareness. What are you holding on to? Perhaps it is a past hurt, a relationship that has run its course, a mistake you cannot forgive yourself for, or a dream that no longer resonates with who you are becoming. Take a moment to observe these attachments without judgment. The first step to releasing them is recognizing their presence. The habit of letting go is not about forcing yourself to forget or ignore, it is about acceptance. Acceptance does not mean you condone what happened or deny its impact. Rather, it means you acknowledge it without resistance. You say, yes, this is part of my journey, and in doing so, you strip it of its power over you. Acceptance is the doorway to freedom. One of the most profound aspects of letting go is understanding that holding on does not preserve the past or guarantee the future. It only robs you of the present. Think of your life as a flowing river. To cling to a rock in the middle of that river, refusing to move, is to resist the natural current. The river will continue to flow, but you will be stuck, exhausted by the effort to stay in place. Letting go is like releasing the rock and allowing yourself to flow freely with the river's course. Emotions often anchor our attachments. We hold on to anger, resentment, fear, or grief, believing that releasing them diminishes our experiences or leaves us vulnerable. Yet the opposite is true. To let go of these emotions is to honor them fully and then set them free. This does not mean you suppress or deny your feelings. It means you feel them fully and allow them to pass through you, rather than taking up permanent residence in your heart. The habit of letting go also extends to expectations. How often do we find ourselves frustrated because life does not unfold as we had planned? Expectations, when rigid, become traps. They box us into a narrow view of what should be, blinding us to the opportunities and beauty of what is. Letting go of expectations does not mean you stop desiring or dreaming. It means you release the need to control how and when those desires manifest. It is an act of trust, a belief that life is unfolding in perfect order, even if you cannot see it in the moment. Letting go requires courage. It is not always easy to release what has been a part of you, even if it causes you pain. But courage grows with practice. Start small. Let go of a minor irritation, a grudge from yesterday, or an expectation about how your day will unfold. Notice the relief, the lightness that comes with this act. Over time, you will find the strength to let go of bigger things, relationships, fears, or dreams that no longer align with your highest self. Cultivating the habit of letting go also involves forgiveness, not just of others, but of yourself. Holding on to guilt or shame weighs you down, keeping you trapped in cycles of self-judgment. Forgiveness is not about excusing your actions or those of others. It is about releasing the hold they have on your heart. It is about saying, I free myself from this burden, and allowing the healing process to begin. Letting go is not a one-time act but a daily practice. Life constantly presents us with opportunities to release old stories, unhelpful habits, or the illusion of control. With each act of letting go, you create space within yourself. This space is not emptiness, it is potential. It is the fertile ground where new ideas, relationships, and experiences can take root. In this practice, trust becomes your anchor. Trust in yourself, in the process of life, and in the infinite intelligence that guides all things. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and what is not meant for you will fade away. This trust allows you to let go with grace, knowing that every ending is also a beginning. So, the beauty of the habit of letting go is that it aligns you with the natural rhythms of life. Seasons change, tides ebb and flow, and so too must we. By embracing this truth, you step into harmony with the world around you, no longer resisting change but moving with it. This is where freedom lives, not in clinging to what was or grasping for what might be, but in the willingness to let go and trust the unfolding journey. In the stillness of quiet reflection lies a power that cannot be overstated. It is within moments of silence that clarity is born, insights arise, and the soul finds its voice. Quiet reflection is not just a pause, it is a profound act of connection, a moment where the outer noise is silenced and the inner truth is heard. In a world that rushes forward at an unrelenting pace, the habit of quiet reflection becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where we realign with our deepest selves. Quiet reflection is also a time to reconnect with gratitude. Amid the hustle and challenges of daily life, it is easy to overlook the abundance that surrounds you. In reflection, you can pause to acknowledge the blessings, both big and small, that have graced your journey. Gratitude shifts your perspective, turning what you have into enough and what you experience into growth. It softens the edges of discontent and opens your heart to joy. Reflection invites you to explore your intentions. It is easy to act on autopilot, driven by routines and external expectations. But in quiet reflection, you can pause to ask, why am I doing this? What do I truly desire? These questions deepen your awareness, ensuring that your actions stem from authentic intention rather than unconscious habit. They guide you toward a life that is not just lived but lived meaningfully. The beauty of quiet reflection lies in its simplicity. You need no tools, no elaborate rituals, just yourself and a willingness to listen. Yet the simplicity of the practice does not diminish its depth. As you sit in stillness, you may find that the surface-level chatter of your mind begins to fade, revealing the deeper truths beneath. These truths are not always comfortable. They may challenge your assumptions, your beliefs, or your sense of identity. But they are necessary, for they illuminate the path forward. Quiet reflection also fosters resilience. Life's challenges often feel overwhelming because we lack the time or space to process them. In reflection, you can step back, gaining perspective on the difficulties you face. You can see them not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Reflection allows you to acknowledge your emotions, understand their roots, and respond with clarity rather than reaction. It is a practice that strengthens your inner foundation, enabling you to face life's storms with grace. This practice is not limited to solitary moments. While quiet reflection often occurs in stillness and solitude, its effects ripple outward. As you cultivate awareness and insight, you bring a deeper presence to your relationships, work, and daily interactions. You become less reactive, more intentional, and more attuned to the needs of others. The peace you find within yourself becomes a gift you offer to the world. Quiet reflection is not about achieving a specific outcome. It is about being with what is. In a culture obsessed with productivity and results, this can feel counterintuitive. Yet the most profound transformations often arise not from striving but from simply being. Reflection creates a fertile ground where growth occurs naturally, where wisdom emerges not through effort but through awareness. As you integrate quiet reflection into your life, you may notice subtle yet profound changes. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your sense of purpose more defined. You begin to see connections where before there was chaos, opportunities where before there was challenge. Reflection is not a one-time event but a lifelong practice, one that deepens with time and enriches every aspect of your existence. In quiet reflection, you remember who you are. You reconnect with the still, small voice within, the voice that whispers truths that the noise of the world often drowns out. It is here, in this sacred space of silence, that you find your center, your anchor in the ever-changing currents of life. Faith is the cornerstone of all creation, not the wavering, uncertain kind of faith that questions its own validity at every turn, but an unwavering belief in the power within you to shape your reality. This faith is not rooted in external circumstances or fleeting emotions. It is anchored deep within your being, tied to the eternal truth that you are a creator, imbued with the ability to bring your desires into existence. This kind of faith is not passive, it is dynamic and active. It requires you to align your thoughts with what you desire, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You do not see it sprout immediately, yet you water it, tend to it, and trust that it will grow. Faith in your power works the same way. You may not see the immediate results of your efforts, but you persist, knowing that unseen forces are at work to bring your vision to life. Unwavering faith is tested most during times of doubt and challenge. It is easy to believe in your power when life flows smoothly, but what about when obstacles arise? These moments are not punishments or signs of failure, they are opportunities to deepen your faith. Challenges are like the refining fire that purifies gold, strengthening your resolve and reminding you of the immense power you hold. Faith also requires patience. In a world that often demands instant results, it can be tempting to abandon your belief when things do not manifest as quickly as you would like. But true power lies in holding steadfast to your vision, trusting in divine timing. The universe operates on its own schedule, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways you cannot always see or understand. Unwavering faith means trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if it looks like nothing is happening. One of the keys to cultivating unwavering faith in your power is quieting the noise of doubt. Doubt is the thief of creation, whispering fears and uncertainties into your mind. Yet doubt has no power over you unless you give it your attention. Instead of entertaining thoughts of lack or limitation, feed your faith with affirmations, visualizations, and gratitude. Focus on what you want, not on what you fear. Gratitude plays a pivotal role in strengthening your faith. When you express gratitude for what you have and for what is on its way, you align yourself with the energy of abundance and creation. Gratitude is more than an emotion, it is a powerful vibration that attracts more of what you desire into your life. By cultivating gratitude, you reinforce your belief that you are already the creator of your reality, and this strengthens your faith in your power. Faith is not blind optimism, it is a conscious decision to see beyond the surface. It is the ability to look at a barren field and see a flourishing garden, to face adversity and see it as a stepping stone to growth. Faith transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into setups for something greater. When you hold unwavering faith in your power, you view life not as a series of random events, but as a perfectly orchestrated journey leading you toward your highest good. Faith in your power is also faith in the unseen. Much of what shapes our reality operates beneath the surface, beyond the reach of the physical senses. Just as you trust that the sun will rise each morning, or that the seasons will change, trust in the unseen forces working in your favor. This trust is not naive, it is the deepest form of wisdom, rooted in the understanding that the universe is always conspiring for your benefit. As you cultivate unwavering faith, you begin to notice the synchronicities and signs that confirm your inner power. A chance meeting, an unexpected opportunity, or a sudden inspiration, these are not coincidences but reflections of your faith in action. The more you trust in your power, the more life responds to that trust, aligning circumstances to match your inner state. In cultivating the habit of unwavering faith in your power, you awaken to the limitless potential that resides within you. Each thought, feeling, and belief becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality, and with faith as your guide, you paint a life of intention and fulfillment. Challenges no longer intimidate you, they become opportunities to deepen your trust in the unseen forces working in your favor. Faith is not merely a belief but a way of being steadfast, knowing that you are the creator of your experiences and that everything you desire is already within your reach. By nurturing this inner conviction with gratitude, patience, and self-compassion, you align with the flow of life and unlock doors you once thought were closed. Thank you for embarking on this journey of self-discovery, for daring to trust in your power, and for stepping into the life that is waiting for you to claim it. The universe responds to your unwavering faith. Keep believing, keep trusting, and watch the extraordinary unfold.